Welcome back to Comics Aficionados, your Saturday morning delight. I am the ringmaster of your circus of birthday party clowns that we have assembled to talk about the fantastic comics that have come out so far this year. That's right, we're actually going to have a positive show, so I know that's going to disrupt some narratives. But yeah, we're going to be talking about things that we love. And so far, we have got a huge panel. We have got some never before guests coming in, and it should be a blast. And look who just popped up. We've got Josh coming in. And now we're just waiting on Jim. So first, let me go ahead and introduce our panel. The first person I want to introduce to you is Andy Andrew from the Rippaverse. He is one of the editors over there, and he is joining us today to talk about comics. How you doing, Andrew?
I'm doing pretty great, Aaron. It's good to see you, buddy. Always appreciate you having you over on the High Council on Tuesday nights at 8 over on World Class Bullshitters, but it's great to finally be able to chat some comics with you, which is something we always chat about off air, but never really have the opportunity to chat about on air. So I'm really happy to be here. So thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Jeff laments the fact that he's like, I want to talk about comics sometime, but my audience isn't really about comics, so they don't know what we're talking about. So I thought it would be good to have you over here. We've had Jeff multiple times, of course. So welcome.
Thank you.
And of course, we have got the Sultan of Soup himself, Sully, over here spreading positivity and pouring coffee.
Pouring coffee. Oh, yeah. Check it out. Check out this pour. Listen to you. Oh, yeah. You want a cuppa? It's freshly brewed. It's Ethiopian Yirgachefe. It's a lightly roasted coffee bean, freshly roasted, freshly ground. I'm in the mood to talk about comic books. Hello, everyone.
Didn't you work for Black Man?
What?
Yergi something or ever, whatever the hell you said.
Yergi Mate.
Yeah, we had an exciting weekend last week, and a bunch of us met up at Dallas Fan Expo, and it was good to see I'm making real life friends with you guys that I've been friends with for a couple of years. It's really cool, man. That was so much fun.
Yeah, we'll talk about Fan Expo. We've got that going on. I want to ask you, Sully, though, since you're pouring coffee this morning, do they still make Folgers? Is the best part of waking up still Folgers in your cup? Is that still a thing?
It better not be in my house. No, thank you. But I believe so. You could still get crap coffee at your local supermarket anytime. And but one thing I want a special, huge shout out to a member of our live chat, AL. She sent me money to fund our cupcake fund. So it was all AL was like, I was in cahoots with AL, and she's like, will you pick up some cupcakes for the table? And I was like, sure, why not? So I got some really delicious cupcakes, and they were at the table on Saturday. Wes got his cupcake, and the leftovers got sent home with Perch and Wes for the kids. And so what a great fate for a cupcake.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. The cupcakes went home with Wes and Perch, and the kids ate them, and then we're up all night driving Perch and Wes nuts. So it's absolutely fantastic.
Mission accomplished.
Another returning to the channel, triumphantly, I might add, from Fantastic Comics in Berkeley, California, is our very own Yule Carter. Welcome, Yule.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm glad to be here when Wes isn't here. I'm just joking. I didn't mean it that way. I'm just joking. I wanted to be on the show anyway, but it helps Aaron, out. But it looks like you have plenty of help. So I'll see you later.
Well, yeah, no, I overbooked because I figured some people would drop out, but only one person dropped out, so that's pretty good. But
when he drops out, it could be really bad. We don't know.
Yeah, when I just go, forget it, I disappear. It'll be stream will be over. But no, I wanted to have a mega panel because I wanted to talk about the good comics that have come out so far this year. I wanted to focus on some of the positive things because there's so many negative things going on creatively within the industry, mostly Marvel at this point. It was like, let's talk about the good comics. So speaking of good comics, we have got Drew in the house. Drew, typically best of the week, coming in for Comics Aficionados. Drew has a campaign going right now. If you guys don't know, last night we took over the stream and we launched Unholy Nightmare #2. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw the link in the description. But Drew, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Aaron. Yeah, I'm fantastic. Right now we're doing better than we did with issue 1. I think we've almost doubled where we were from issue 1 when we launched, so that's a good thing. I hope everyone gives gives issue 2 a try, because we think it's the best issue yet, and everyone's going to be in store for some great horror and action with this series.
Yeah, it's got a great cliffhanger ending that I absolutely love, that I am completely jealous of because it's such a great idea, and I can't wait for people to read it. It is already done for those of you who are on the fence or have been burned by crowdfunding before and don't feel like waiting 3 years for a comic book. So it is completely finished. Lettering's done. I've done my editorial pass on it, and we will be shipping that out as soon as the campaign closes. It'll go to print and then out into your hands. So quick turnaround on that. Another guest I'm glad to have back because I always enjoy having him on here. Breen, you're actually lucky one of our guests dropped out today because we were going to have Phil Marks from Pro Wrestle Times, and we were going to basically tag team you on abusing AEW. So
wait. You talk to Phil Marks?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's actually a really good guy, and he's a comic book fan. So,
I know. I've heard. I mean,
yeah.
I know. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Breen.
No problem.
So I'm just looking. I guess this is what it's like at an award show when the stars and the seat fillers all show up at the same time.
The awkward, everybody kind of like standing there. No, we'll have a good show. It'll be great.
So let me get out of the way so Josh can have it.
Well, I'm going to go to Josh next, and I actually will be trying to shut up on this show and let the guests do all the talking. Josh, how you doing today?
I'm good. I like Eric. I have my coffee. I'm prepared. It's in my Raven Call Club. I'm going to try to be studious this morning. Why not? I'm
It's
excited
so
to talk
weird.
about good comics.
Yeah, it's so weird because I feel like I should just be able to go downstairs and see you.
Yeah.
Since, that just happened. We were just all hanging out in Dallas.
And I could be like, hey, Aaron, I made some frittata for us this morning.
Yes, today's breakfast will be
breakfast.
a fine souffle. Speaking of Dallas and people who are there, we've got the Real Comic Book Gamer, Dylan.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. I feel like missed out not doing like a Brady Bunch style intro with how we're all set up like this. Like we're all very close together right now. So that's immediately what I thought of. But yeah, it's good to be here.
Yeah, I didn't know how the layout was going to go. I thought it was going to stack it differently, but this is what we got. So it's kind of different, kind of fun.
Yeah.
So we had a great time out in Dallas, like sitting around and chatting about really nerdy shit. A couple of times I had this moment where I was like, we were all sitting at the table and I was like, I can't believe this is happening right now.
Yeah, people that you're used to talking to through a screen suddenly meeting in real life. It's weird, but now it's weird to go back.
I know. It's like, what the hell happened? One person we didn't get to see in Dallas and who was asked for at the table repeatedly, our good friend Doc. How's it going, Doc?
I am spectacular. I'm glad you guys all had fun. I was really hoping to make it down there, but I already did a road trip down to Florida like less than a month ago. I really did not feel like road tripping my way down to Dallas, and I was thinking about flying down, but girlfriend wanted to come, and well, her medicine doesn't go on the airplane.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that doesn't stop people.
Yes.
Of course, from your state, it might. I don't know what your local statutes are. California, nobody cares.
Yeah, Pennsylvania, they do a little bit.
California, they'd be like, what do you got? Black tar heroin? Yeah, that's fine. Let's get on the plane. And if you're flying Frontier, everyone is on black tar heroin. So,
yes.
They're
including
brawling
the pilots.
Yeah. What's funny is our gate at one point was right next to Frontier. And it was like you're looking over from like a decent slice of humanity to just the worst. They're arguing and their kids are climbing on stuff, and it's just an absolute free for all. So avoid Frontier if you can. It's basically just a catapult launching you in the direction of the place you're going.
Yeah, as a person that flies far too much, Frontier and Spirit. Spirit it's like the Waffle House in the sky.
Yeah, and I find with Spirit, like you might get a good one. Like I've had a couple of good experiences on Spirit when I've had to fly it, and then I've had like 2 bad, and they were very bad. But still, the worst of Spirit is better than the best of Frontier so far, which I've had to take twice.
Well, I mean, you can also have your reputation ruined by the entire internet when you're flying Spirit just for being there.
It's like as they're filming the brawl that's going on the plane, and then just pan over to you, going like,
Yeah,
you're
because you have the
immortalized forever.
wrong expression on your face while watching the 30,000-foot fucking cage match.
Yeah, you feel like you're, speaking of wrestling, you feel like you're on the flight from hell. You're like, oh, Brock Lesnar is wrestling, Kurt Angle
Hennig.
into the door, or Kurt Hennig into the door of the airplane. This is
Yeah.
fantastic. Unbelievable. But we got a great show. Let's go ahead and hear from the people. We have got Jagron 2 for $2 saying, if you need comics, go to Fantastic Comics. Yule Pro.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Shout out. Got some Yule love going. I like it. Like to see it. Good energy. Callum says for $5, I love Christopher Priest for finally giving Black Panther a white son. I feel so represented and seen.
Fucking A, man. Fucking A. I
Finally.
mean, it's about all this. Finally, we can start calling him Black Panther,
Okay.
if he's black.
Yeah.
Now it's just Black Panther, and we know he's a white guy. You know what I mean?
That's right.
It's the
That's
way
right.
it should always be. Black Widow is a white woman, unless it's a black woman.
Mm-hmm.
Black Widow, and on and on. You know what I mean?
This is like the white Debbie, Black Debbie debate on
Exactly.
on C-Lab 2021. Why would you feel if we called her White Debbie? Well, that's ridiculous. We all know Debbie's white. And we have got Jagron 2 coming in for $5 again. I know everyone's favorite comic was Weapon Department Killing Machine Gwenpool or original Gwen Stacy. Woo! So one L.I. is a goo monster, one murderer, one best bud. I don't know. Can someone explain? Dylan, explain to me what that means.
That last sentence has me completely confused. I have no idea what he's saying. That last sentence is...
It's a Masonic temple code. He's trying to get all the Freemasons together, man. Watch out.
Totally.
Is this one of those things where they spell something out and they accidentally make the host do a racism? Is that how it works?
Oh, damn, you totally did it.
Oh, man, I blew it.
Oh, gee.
Oh, Wes is gonna be pissed.
I know, man. Demonetized. Callum for $5 says an interview and one of Nerdrotic's people confirmed it's Sue Storm, the movie, and Galactus will be defeated by the power of womanhood. That's
We all are.
I mean, yeah, aren't we all? Like,
No.
Hey, look, if it's either the reason
And
why
Josh
we're
can
fighting,
definitely say no.
it's either the reason why we're fighting or why we're losing usually. I mean,
Yeah,
Josh got it covered, but not us.
I remember, I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was a movie, but somebody said something about like prostitutes, and the guy said, "I don't pay for sex," and then his buddy goes, "Oh, we all pay in some way or another."
Yes.
So that's what we're hearing about Fantastic Four. I don't know. I mean, look, the moment they made Pedro Pascal Reed, we kind of knew what we were getting, right?
I don't know. He looks pretty good though, right? You
No.
don't think so? I mean, he's kind of.
They just made him shave. If they just made him shave, that's
Yeah, and barely.
Yeah.
That's the problem. He looks like Pedro Pascal playing Pedro Pascal as Pedro Pascal in everything that he's ever done, which is he looks just like he just rolled out of bed as a 16-year-old high schooler trying to grow facial hair.
So I've never seen Pedro Pascal in anything. Okay.
Oh, you're all right then.
I can say that about Gary Oldman. I can say that about almost anybody that portrays one thing after a while.
Gotcha.
That's always going to be that crazy motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Really? Because Gary Oldman, he's always different to me.
So even in Amadeus, he was a crazy motherfucker, right?
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then all the way through till me not watching Pedro Pascal anything, he's still the same way. So maybe he's changed. I don't know. Is he the old crazy motherfucker now? I mean, that's what I assume.
There was a Babylon Bee recently that said Gary Oldman announces new role as a weird dude.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, I don't know about this guy, but I mean, blissfully ignorant. You know,
That's I have a theory that Pedro. I have plenty of lefty progressive in real life friends here in the blue state of Massachusetts. But let me tell you, Pedro Pascal is basically the lefty progressive reboot of Burt Reynolds.
But do they like
I don't
him?
like to change his origin story.
Hold on.
But he's,
You're giving Pedro way too much credit. Burt Reynolds has way too much testosterone. Look,
exactly.
Reynolds,
He's
a great guy
he's
that
the
plays the
modern
same
audience
character.
reboot of Burt
Yeah,
Reynolds.
because whatever testosterone Burt Reynolds has, Pedro Pascal has it in estrogen.
Yes.
Yeah, he's discovered the anti-testosterone equation.
The
So-
anti-Bert.
So Jogron, oh, that makes me miss Norm Macdonald so much. Jogron 2 says, Diamond got me one last time. Hated them in the 90s when I had to pick up their shipments for a local comic store. Their system went down at ICs, have to reset up subs. Boo. Yule, how has the Diamond collapse affected you in a negative way?
The shipping still costs a lot for less items. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not really. Although this is the first week where I must not have ordered Space Ghost Annual, and I went to go order it, and it's not available. So I think now, like, none of the covers. You know what I mean? And I know all of a sudden somebody was. It wasn't like all of a sudden people care about an annual. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and even Space Ghost, as much as we praised it, and I think it is on some of our lists for best of the year. Even as much as people have praised it, it's not like it's a property that has a huge fan base
Right.
that are buying comics. And number two, it's from Dynamite, so you're lucky if anybody knows it exists.
But there are so many covers I should be able to get. Some Lisner cover or something from Jay Lee or some Perio or something like that. And there's nothing. And that's pretty interesting. But I mean, it looks like they're on their way out anyway. And it really hasn't affected me because all the pertinent companies, maybe other than Dynamite, not quite sure if that's a pertinent company. Everybody's like hunkered down, just like it was when Marvel bought Heroes Unlimited or whatever the hell it was called. And then everybody was just like, well, we're going to sign an exclusive over here with Diamond. We're going to sign an exclusive with Capital. We're going to sign an exclusive over here. And then Capital was dead, and then Diamond got everything. And then they were the monopoly they are. And now they're dead.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes it takes a while, but karma comes around. Unfortunately, it's the retailers that often suffer the brunt of the karma that comes around.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, it's just like a shitty book coming out. You're like, oh man, this has got Wolverine in it. It's got Jonathan Hickman writing it. I know that I'm joking. I didn't really read that one, but it's got a good artist. It's gonna be a killer. Gonna get all the covers.
Wolverine Revenge
is
like
it's fair to Midland. It's just like,
and for Sully it has interior variants too.
Shots fired.
Oh, give me Jeff the Landshark and you get you sold, kid.
Oh, Jeff the Landshark interior variants.
Wicked pissa.
There's, what's funny? I've seen like a lot of like art and things like that of the Marvel Rivals characters and things like that, and Jeff the Landshark in there. And Jeff the Landshark is a good cover model character. I will give him that. He's a one-note joke, as Jeff the Landshark, but he's cute and you can make plushies of him. And so I think that he does have a place. I think his rise has been much more organic than characters like, say, Kamala Khan, who've been like continually forced down your throat. But even Kamala, we saw this week when they announced the Marvel Tokon fighting game, which looks amazing. They made her look cute, and it was like everybody who gets a Marvel license cares more about the characters and their appeal than Marvel itself.
I feel like Jeff the Landshark is a character that would work best if we all found out that he's been nothing but like a hallucination from Deadpool the entire time. Like
that would be pretty good.
Like he doesn't actually exist.
Yeah, he's just been carrying around a dead fish.
Yeah, yes.
That would be kind of cool. I agree.
I think it would, because it lets you keep these stupid novelty characters that don't improve the line whatsoever. Make it more fucking, well.
Yeah, but you never know when something's going to hit, and regardless, you got to take advantage of it as a company.
I understand.
You put out all this stuff that's new, and only one thing hits, and it's nothing you put out on purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like you can keep that success and keep the character in existence, while at the same time not fundamentally damaging your brand in the process, which is what a lot of characters like Shark Girl. Shark Girl actively hurts the X line. Through her
there are a lot of things hurting the X line right now. I think that's the least.
The X line is hurting the X line the most.
Yeah, like I mean, all the useless mutants being actual X-Men.
You mean
hurts the X-Men.
Morlocks?
Well, no, they should be just Morlocks, and shove them back into a sewer somewhere, and we're all happy. Sorry, we like pretty people.
One character that that I've seen Rob Liefeld complain about a lot is when they introduced Birdbrain into New Mutants with the Animen and that whole storyline where Doug Ramsey got killed. And at the time, I didn't mind Birdbrain because I was like, it was a one-off and it was a weird mutation and it kind of fit that one story they were telling. And so I didn't hate it the way that Rob Liefeld hated it. But I will say this, now we have an entire X line of Birdbrains.
Yes.
And it's you look at it and you can't take anything seriously. And yeah, you're right. It ruins the line, Doc.
Yeah.
For Callum for $5 says, does Kevin Feige want to trans into a woman or something, or does he want Joss Whedon's body count by playing feminist? Can this guy learn? I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about that. I think that like everybody jumped on this bandwagon to try to prove how virtuous they were in Hollywood, and they did it to the detriment of the audience. What do you think, Dylan?
Yeah, it's kind of insane that he was around for the good times, and now that he's lost all the creative people that made those good, he has no idea what to do. I remember there was this, I can't remember, there's some like show on YouTube where they used to like battle about different movie topics. One of them was like, who's the best director of like the past 20 years, whatever. And I think Kevin Smith was on there, and he's like, I know Kevin Feige's not a director, but he's the one behind all the Marvel movies, and tried to make this case for it. And it's hilarious to look back on that now. It's like, look at him now when he's got full control of everything. Look how dog shit he is.
Yeah, the worst thing that you can do is believe your own hype, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Josh, you have some insight into this. What do you think?
I mean, look, I don't know what he's doing. There are rumors right now that he's kind of butting heads with Bob Iger about where they want to take things. I fully expect that after Secret Wars, Feige will be gone and they'll bring someone else in. But 100%, Joss Whedon mapped out the first three phases of MCU, and then you had tweaks come in at the end with the Russo brothers and the writing team that they had. But yeah, that's
it's interesting because you've got Feige and Iger butting heads creatively, two people who should not be in charge of any creative whatsoever. So it's like it's Alien versus Predator, right? No matter who wins, we lose.
Yeah.
Callum coming in for $10 says last week was awesome. You mean when we weren't on? Because we were all in Dallas. He's like, oh, best show ever, guys. It was quick. It was to the point. Last week was awesome. We forgot to mention Tess Fowler, who does want to kill people, and another Matt Frank, who's a good Godzilla artist. But if you disagree once, their radical switch turns on. I don't know who Matt Frank is.
He's a great artist. He's a great artist, Aaron. Yeah, he does a lot of monster books. He did Red Man for Behemoth Comics a couple of years ago, which was a really good adaptation. But yeah, he's one where fantastic, but just it goes hand in hand. Great artist, just a little out there, sometimes.
So does he just like freak out on people if they disagree with him?
Or post freakouts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so a lot of people just need therapy, and I don't know how to tell you guys this, but social media is not therapy. That's not the place for you to dump all of your anxieties. And,
I think a lot of people would be much better if they just left social media in general.
Mm-hmm. That and your comic books too. Jeez.
But comic book creators, maybe Doc or Aaron or some of you, or Breen, they've never really been, stable anyway, right?
No.
I mean, ever.
That's true. And as a comic book creator, I can tell you,
Mark Waid is entirely in charge of his own faculties. What are you talking about?
If there is a man, when I think of someone who's got a solid lock on their emotions and their responses, I think Mark Waid.
Yeah, but when you're a Euro, it really doesn't matter, right?
That's true.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Callum says, good news, Alex Seward Campy is broke.
Aww.
I did see that she was begging for money on Blue Sky.
Really?
Here's the danger of going to Blue Sky is when you have to beg for money, the broke communist platform is not really the place to do that.
Isn't that what most of Blue Sky is now? A bunch of them begging for money. I mean, it's a common occurrence with mags, So.
Oh yeah, well, someone sent me. That's
wait, how much do they take?
In a long time. It's interesting. I don't know why companies post there, because I saw them. I saw Dark Horse. Someone sent me a link to Dark Horse posted about Mark Miller's Chrononauts, and the Blue Sky responses are just filled with broke communists saying how they won't buy it. They'll never buy his work again, as if they've ever bought it before. And that's
Well, I
I
don't
was
think
gonna
Chrononauts
say, like,
is
you
the
don't
book
have
to
money.
go for.
Like, you can say, oh, I'm not going to support that. Yeah, well, you weren't going to do it in the first place. One, because you don't want to, and two, because you don't have any money to do so. Why do I care about you? You're crying about it.
Where are the rich communists? Can you market to them?
They don't exist.
They're the ones in government.
Yes. I will go back to that last one about Alex the Campy.
Yeah, this
die
is
in a gutter.
$2 chat.
Die in a gutter, bitch.
Damn.
Well, get encouraging words from Doc.
You're welcome,
ladies and gentlemen.
We'll get to the good stuff later, guys.
That's right. Jogron 2 says 1 love interest Venom, 1 buddy zone, 1 killer. I don't know what that means.
Paul's in the buddy zone, right?
Is he?
That
So
what
that's
we're
got to be
saying?
Paul, right? 1 love interest Venom. So who's the love interest?
I don't know.
Mary Jane.
This is all. So is this all like Venom? But who's it the love interest to? Is it Spidey's love interest? 1 buddy zone, 1. Okay, so I'm not.
Well, the
think
creative
it's
team
Peter
behind All
Parker.
New Venom wants it to be Peter and MJ, but you know,
Yeah, I mean, like
you got Nick Lowe, so that's not happening.
Actually,
I
he's
love
not
that Al
editing
Ewing
it.
was like,
He
No, who's
doesn't
doing
edit Venom.
Not only that, isn't he leaving anyway?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but he.
No, the
He
Venom
told
books
me
got
that-
looped
Jordan
under
White's
the Spider Office, though.
No, the all new
Jordan
Venom
White's
is
the editor.
not. It's one of the chicks. One of the. Okay, well, since we have the generic Stephanies for all the female writers at Marvel, I'm gonna call them all generic Anissas because that's they all have some A name and have no talent. So it's one of the girls that's the editor of All New Venom. So
I don't know,
and
Doc. I could
goes-
introduce you to a super hot Anissa.
I met a couple of strippers named Anissa too. They're hot,
It's going that way.
but yeah, I think it's Jordan White that
Yeah.
actually has that one.
It's weird because Perch is right when he says that it turns out that Jordan White was a better editor on the X books than Tom Brevoort, which is mind-boggling, but it's proving to be true.
Well, that's because Tom Brevoort was never a good editor. Even in the early 90s, when he was an actual editor, he wasn't a good editor. The only thing he was ever competent at that company was in the early 2000s when he became kind of the continuity cop. That just his only job was to tell people no on things that they wanted to do because it would violate some sort of continuity. That was his sole fucking job for like 15 years. And then after Quesada left and Axel Alonso became the EIC, that's when he started giving him like, oh, you should have story input. And that was where everything kind of went off the fucking rails for having Tom Brevoort, have any other job other than be the continuity cop. He had one thing he was good at, but like the military, he failed into a position. He got promoted past his point of competence.
Yeah, it's crazy. I wish that we had the Tom Brevoort who said no to things, because it seems like he says yes to every dumb idea now. We got another one from Callum, $10. I hope that bald ogre from Wicked will not play Storm. She's the black version of Rachel Zegler, and Feige wants to do a Malcolm X versus Dr. King X-Men movie because of course he does. I mean, those are the rumors. The only person I see that's out there saying that Cynthia Erivo chick, and every time I see her, I do think the time of men is over. The age of the orc has begun. I do think that every time I see her. I think the only person that's reporting that is that Hello, or My Time to Shine Hello account on Twitter, which is just always goes, this actor is being eyed for a role in the MCU. Who would you like to see them play? This actor is being eyed for a role in the MCU. Who would you like to see them play? And they just do that over and over and over again with every single
Source
actor
is
that has
non-existent.
any buzz. Yeah, no source whatsoever. It's basically, again, going back to like the Mike Zero of the internet, a guy who will post something on Reddit and then use his own rumor as a source that he created as a source to do a video. So just ignore that. I don't think that that's remotely true. There's so many good Black actresses that could step into the role of Storm and do a good job. Question is, will we actually get a good X-Men movie? Which I'm thinking odds are against it.
If it was X-Men the musical, I could totally see it happening.
Sure,
like
why not?
the Hellfire Gala movie, dude.
Oh,
This is what we deserve.
yeah, everybody looks like a horrible monster.
That'll get asses in seats. Make the entire X-Men movie just a Hellfire Gala.
I have a simple rule that I think that we should follow in cinema as well as just in life, which is if you have a septum piercing, no, it's just a no.
I'm down with that.
And then Callum says on as you'll slowly remove his septum piercing.
Oh, no, not me. But you can turn those in and you can take them out. It's really no big deal.
Yeah, but I mean, like once you see somebody when somebody with one starts talking to you, you're like, this is not going to go.
That's like the
good.
Pedro Pascal thing, I don't even know who the fucker is. You know what I mean? I don't know who this lady is, and I don't think she's unattractive.
Really?
I do.
She's odd.
She's not an ugly woman at all. Give me a break. And if you put a wig on her head, you wouldn't even know that she was bald.
Well, she makes herself ugly. That's the thing. Is like if you put makeup on her,
it ain't that big a deal. No hair, I mean, fucking.
No, it's not the no hair. That's
been going away with that for a while.
She's
right?
skeletal.
Yeah, she
I'm just looking at her face right now, and she isn't skeletal.
You can.
Yes,
she is.
Look at her body. She looks like this thing that
I'm not looking at her body. I'm looking at her face.
Okay.
So you want to talk about skeletal? Ariana Grande. She's a skeleton. She's the skeleton of Ariana Grande. Jeez.
Okay.
She was so.
All right.
Well, the catering gig on
I don't
Wicked
like when
must have been
people say
easy.
eat a sandwich. It's very ableist. You know what I mean? That's not cool. But
Listen,
you like
the
fat
less
people?
sandwiches that they eat, the more sandwiches we can eat, right, guys?
Exactly.
Ooh,
Exactly.
sandwich
She can
theory. I like
insist on a peanut. Let her. It's fine.
That was part of the contract. They weren't allowed to partake in catering.
Take the blue M&Ms out of the bowl.
Also, they weren't allowed to have Uber Eats deliver. So basically, they had to starve for 9 months.
It's a shame that what Hollywood has done to Ariana Grande, because I thought she was so cute and I think she's very talented. Like her vocal mimicry, like when she's doing impressions and things like that. That's where that's where I got impressed with her. Like I just started seeing little like TikToks of her doing like voices and things, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then all of a sudden the algorithm decided I was the biggest Ariana Grande fan in the world because I clicked on like 2 videos from Saturday Night Live. And all of a sudden it was like, hey, you like Ariana Grande? Look at this. Here she is on the red carpet. Here's this, blah, blah, blah. And I just watched her get more and more like emaciated. So it's I hope she's okay. I hope somebody gets in there and does an intervention and get some food in her. From Callum, we've got on AVP, Alien Earth released a trailer. I did see it. It looks interesting. I don't know if it'll be any good, but the trailer looked interesting. But Predator Killer of Killers is awesome. That does look.
Oh, there we go. He's back. He's
back. What channel is it?
Did I go out?
Hulu?
Yeah.
Audio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe it's Hulu that Killer of Killers is on.
Yeah, Hulu, I think, is where a lot of the Fox property adaptations, either television or movies, that's where they're going to live. Mm-hmm. Especially in the more, I guess, horror-ish genre. Obviously, Predator, Aliens, not really horror, but they're the not Disney appropriate versions.
Yep. That's where they put Prey, the first one they did.
Yeah.
Which I think benefited just from not being as awful as the Predator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's kind of everybody kind of rated it higher than maybe it deserved.
Yeah.
It was, and you know what? Honestly, once people watched it, like I was sitting there going, okay, yeah, she got her ass fucking beat by that Predator for the entire time and basically just got lucky at the end.
Yeah.
Like, because everybody's like, oh, great. because it was right at the time of the height of that. 90-pound girl beats up 270-pound, like 4 270-pound special forces guys. And this time it was, the thing that killed 4 240-pound special forces guys in a jungle, she's going to fight it. And then she's going to win. Okay, yeah, sure, buddy.
Breen, do you think that the Predator is a threat when it's never won in a single movie? Do you think that like we hit diminishing returns with it? Like, it's like, Predator, what's going to happen? He's going to job. He's like the Baraka or the reptile of
well,
he's
a threat if you run into him in the first half of the movie.
Yeah,
that's true.
But I said
he's a threat as long as you're not the main character
or wearing red. So yeah.
Plot.
You're like at the end of the Predator, Andrew, where the guy gets literal plot armor.
Yep.
Oh man. Zach for $5 says, for all their bad comics, at least we're getting some good Marvel games now. Also, don't give this money to Alex DeCampi. No, I don't think any of our crowd would be giving money to Alex DeCampi. I think if what you should do if you feel charitable is find out whatever charity there is for the memory of Ed Piskor and give your money to that in the name of Alex DeCampi.
And Zach, you could have bought one bad Marvel comic with that $5.
That's right. That's right. Not the Jonathan Hickman one, but one of them.
No.
Callum says, would you cast Anna Diop as Storm or Jade Cargill? I don't know who Anna Diop is. I think Jade Cargill looks the part, but I don't know if she can act.
Wasn't she Starfire?
Yeah.
Anna Diop?
Yeah.
Oh, then absolutely not.
She was the hooker Starfire.
Yeah.
From Titan.
I don't want to talk about that.
What, from the New 52?
No, the one from Titan.
No, that would have been preferable.
The first episode of Titan, she was actually a hooker. So
she dressed like a hooker for the entire time.
Yeah, no, that was
anybody with a feather boa as a hooker.
Oh my God, Hulk Hogan, Jesse Ventura.
I feel like
well, Pat Patterson.
Look at here,
there,
brother.
right?
It's $400 an hour.
Right.
I would say Jade Cargill is too big for it.
Too muscly.
She can't act. Let's be honest.
She can't act either.
I know.
Can't even move. Would she even hit her spot on a movie? I mean, seriously.
Too muscular for the role of Storm.
Yeah, I think Jade does look like a superhero, but I don't know that Storm is the one.
Actually, I think
I don't know.
The Joanna Cargill. I'm pretty sure that's where she picked her name from.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
The other X-Men, the one with the fucking tendrils. The chick that was part of the Acolytes.
Right.
Yeah. Pretty sure that's
right.
where she picked her last name for.
No, makes sense. Makes sense to me. So that is we have gone through all of the super chats thus far. So let's get on to our topics. Our topic today is the best comics so far of 2025. And the first person I'm going to throw to is someone we haven't heard from in a little while. Drew, why don't you go ahead and tell us what you're thinking?
So far, it's really hard to disagree with Space Ghost. Space Ghost has been consistently great with pretty much every single issue. It's never disappointed. Whether it's David Pepos prose or the Jonathan Lau art, his art is lights out, and he is going to be a superstar at DC in the future. I guarantee you he will be on Batman with Jeremy Adams at some point. It's going to happen. And another book, Green Lantern. Green Lantern has been fantastic. Jeremy Adams. Another Jeremy Adams book that's been great is Aquaman. G.I. Joe by Josh Williamson's been fantastic. I'm sure there's probably one or two more that aren't coming to mind right now, but those are the ones right now I would say are probably the best in the biz right now.
Okay, so what I've decided we're going to do just now, I decided is that we'll go through, we'll do a quick list with everybody, and then we'll just kind of open it up to general discussion. So, Sully, I know you've got a list. I know you actually sat down and compiled, on paper,
I made
Sully,
a numbered list.
That's
Not
right.
a numbered
So,
list. I didn't make, but I came up with 25 really good comics that I'm enjoying in 2025, and I thought that was clever and fun. I literally have 5 DC books that I'm reading, 8 Marvel books that I'm congratulating, and the rest of them basically are like Skybound books, Image books. I'm liking Vatican City by Pierre Berg and Mark Miller. That's a 3-issue mini that's concluding very soon. The Sickness, which is on Uncivilized Press by Donnie Nadler and Jenna Cha. You've probably never heard of it, but it's got the best pencils. It's just raw pencils in a way. It's just black and white, and it's horror, and it's some really, really great art, and it's a really grotesque horror story, and it's a comic book lover's comic book. Savage Dragon. I love Savage Dragon. I just got turned on to Savage Dragon this year. I've got no problems with it. I love it. It's so problematic, and it's so funny. It's a great use of the superhero trope, and great action scenes. And I'm finding Eric Larson's drawing style to be like reminiscent of something somewhere between like 80s Frank Miller and Howard Chaykin right now. And I'm really digging the hell out of it. There's a new one coming out called Planet Death by Robert Venditti and the guy who wrote the screenplay for John Wick. And the 0 issue came out, and I was just blown away by it because it's got great art, great colors, and it's on this newsprint kind of paper that's a little pulpier than newsprint, but it holds the colors so well. And it was such a refreshing break from all of those glossy pages and things. So, but yeah, I got plenty more. So I'm going to pass the mic over to who's next. Who wants this?
All right. Well, let's go over to Josh. Josh, what do you got for us?
I'm gonna kind of echo a lot of what Drew said. I think we do a weekly stream and a monthly stream talking about comics. Our weekly streams we talk about the good and the bad, a lot of bad. But our monthly stream we list our top 5 for that month, and we kind of break it up of general top 5 and top 5 debuts to try to get some eyes and attention on new books. But I mean, look, anything that's going on in Energon has been really good. Drew did not mention Transformers, and I think what they're doing right now is just Daniel Warren Johnson's wrapping up his run, and it's like full steam ahead. They're going balls to the wall, and Jorge Corona's just got some fantastic art on that. It's the best work Jorge Corona has ever done, in my opinion, and I'm happy to see that it's doing so well. And I know it's going to get packaged as a 24-issue like omnibus that's just going to live on shelves for a good while. Other than that, I would say, Ghost Machine's producing some quality stuff, but I think Redcoat consistently is one of the better books from them. It's just a lot of fun with endless possibilities that you can do. And we love the American folklore stories that they're kind of adding in and giving a fun twist to. But the lead character is such a cheeky and fun character because he's just a little irreverent. So I'll throw that one out there as well. But yeah.
All right. Now you are not only a comic book reader, but you are a comic book retailer. So you kind of come at it from 2 different angles. What do you think has been the best of 2025 so far?
So I'm going to let you know, as you will, what I think are the best comics and I only have 3 that I'm going to really say. I have plenty of comics that I like, and I'm not going to step on some people that haven't gone yet. Superman. All right. I just did it. I'm sorry. But playing. Fantastic Comics isn't just a shop, it's a YouTube show, and I did this about 3 weeks ago, but I'm gonna let you know what the list is right now. One from Marvel is Avengers West Coast, or West Coast Avengers. I think the art is, it's a 6 or a 7 at best, but the story is really fun and different, and it has elements of the Justice League International kind of style. It's a little funny, it's more quirky than funny. But if you remember the first 7 issues, it was a very serious book with a bunch of joking on going around. And West Coast is a pretty interesting book, and I really like it. In fact, all these books are team books, and it's all superhero. So over at DC, my favorite book that they're putting out is JSA. Jeff Lemire is still a really good writer, and the art is probably about a 6 or a 7. But it's a really interesting, the problem with JSA, and I'm sure Breen would second this, is like old timers like it, but kids don't care about the knockoff JSA characters. Whoever's playing Dr. Midnight now, or whatever the other characters, Owlman, or who cares what their names are? They're JSA. But Jeff Lemire does a really good job introducing you to these characters. And and another thing, I think all these books kind of feel the same as far as like some of the things they need to do. It's like introduce you to these characters, kind of like reintroduce you to them if you haven't read them in a while, and put them in a different package maybe than you've seen before. And so the JSA is a really good book. And then over at Image, Fantastic Comics is going to be having a signing this 25th of June with Master Joe Casey. He's going to be flying up so that he can sign my books and 5 other people.
Very nice.
Tell me that you watched this at on Thinking Critical, and you can come on in at the after hour signing. So it's going to be 3 to 5. We're going to close, and then I'll have him 5 to 6, and then we're going to ship him off to the airport, just like that.
Just box him up and put him in a crate.
Pretty much that's how it's going to go. Yeah. So he does Blood Squads. He's doing Weapon X-Men. He did Kneel Before Doomface. No, I'm just joking. Kneel Before Zod. For DC, he's worked on Superman books in the past. He's worked on Image books in the past. I'm sure Doc would tell you some really good books that he's done. We all know he loves Wildcats. So do I.
Yep.
But Blood Squad 7, holy shit, this is the fucking book to read. If you like superhero books, but you really haven't read them in a while, or you're like, you grew up during the 90s Image days, this is a book for you that has grown up. It's still the same thing, but it's different, and it's better. And it deals with nepotism. It deals with politics, but not in a way that, you're going to worry about being upset. It's just going to be like politics within politics, and how people talk about things so that they can, put out toys for superhero teams and stuff like this. And it's all very interesting, and it really moves the young blood. See, it's not young blood because it's not. It's Blood Squad 7. And there's a whole thing to that. These are all really good team books, and I'm done talking.
So is it more of like the Machiavellian nature of politics rather than like political?
So what it is one of the original characters in Youngblood is trying to get a new government-sponsored team together. And while they're doing that, there's all sorts of crazy shit going on with the members. And it is until the 7th issue that they are unveiling themselves to the world, kind of like Justice League International on their 7th issue when they did that. And all these books, if you like superhero team books, West Coast Avengers, JSA, Blood Squad 7, that will give you your superhero books you need. That's it.
All right. Sounds good. I like it. I love it. I love some dark horse choices coming in there.
Thanks.
I like the variety. Dylan, what do you got for us?
I got a good amount of books, but I'll say the best book from DC for me is Batman and Robin. Ever since Philip Kennedy Johnson took over, it's been great. We got Javier Fernandez and Miguel Mendoza on art, so they're a great 1-2 punch. When one of them's off, you're not sad that you have a backup artist because they're both great. I'm really enjoying the story there with Memento. It's going on. It's a long story arc, but I feel like he's handling it well. It doesn't feel like it's boring. Every issue there's something that happens, and finally, we have another writer that can write Damian Wayne, because I feel like that's a skill that a lot of Batman writers don't have for whatever reason. He's a hard character to tackle, but PKJ gets it, I guess, probably because he has his own son and is very close to him. He's always posted about him on Twitter, so I'm assuming that helps inform him on Damian. But he does a great job with it. I love how he handles their relationship. And Batman has been tripping balls for like 9 issues. It's great. I'm really enjoying it. And then for Marvel, I would say that Philip Kennedy Johnson again, the only ongoing I really like is Incredible Hulk. It dips sometimes, but I enjoy it for the most part. And then my favorite book overall from Marvel was Hell Hunters, but that was a limited series, and that just ended after 5 issues. But that's a World War II comic, and it was so good. I really enjoyed that. And then from Image, G.I. Joe is my favorite. G.I. Joe is amazing. G.I. Joe has been so good. And we just got Beachhead in that last issue. It was amazing. And prior to that, we got the cap off for the first story arc, which was really good. And then obviously Everything Ghost Machine's great. Geiger, Redcoat, Hyde Street, really enjoying that. Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger Spawn. We got a Western book that's actually pretty good right now. Jimmy Palmiotti gets to write more Westerns. It's really fun. I feel like Green Arrow's not getting enough love from Chris Condon and Montos. I'm enjoying it. Ollie is a bleeding heart lib, and he handles it well the way Ollie is in that book. I love it. And yeah, it's a good time.
I love it when writers come in.
I thought you were the Superman guy. That's what Wes always says.
Yeah, but I think so. I like Superman right now, but I don't think it's that great because I despise the way Williamson handles Lex. I don't think he handles Lex well at all. I really especially hated the whole. Actually, his mom built the entire empire and Lex stole it from her. I hate that so fucking much. That's so stupid. One of the big core things of Lex is the fact that he built himself up, and that's what he hates about Superman, because he views Superman as having everything gifted to him. He didn't do anything to earn those powers. He just showed up on Earth and he got them. Lex built it. Lex came from this horrible place, came from Smallville, had an abusive father, and then built himself as a billionaire. Williams was like, actually, no. His mom had all that, and he just stole it from her. I hate that so much. That's so stupid.
That's a good point.
But he's kind of face turning right now, like real hard, and maybe like that realization or understanding that kind of can give you the impetus to agree to his face turn. You don't think, like, if he was going to be, like Alfred being dead for 10 years, if he's going to be a good guy for like 10 years, maybe forever, like Jay Jonah isn't like a big dick like he used to be, going forward. Maybe it will be okay in that regard, if they stick.
Also, Lex has turned good like 3 times the past 10 years. So it's another thing that we've already seen. And it's not like, it's happened like 20 years. No, it just happened like multiple times. We had the New 52 happen. Like, it's constantly happening. This isn't some new idea. And it's like, I like evil Lex. I don't need Lex being good. We don't need that. We have enough of that. I hate that. They're constantly doing that with characters.
I like
let bad guys be bad.
I like it when he was his clone son and he had all the red hair back in
that was fun.
The big wall of, he was just like,
it was such a stupid thing, but I loved it,
Wasn't he banging like a protoplasm version of Supergirl?
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, he was.
Yes.
That was the Peter David one, right? Later on.
And she went and lived
the
with Mom and Pa Kent.
Yeah, and what a tragedy losing Peter David this year. Didn't have to happen if any of these companies that people pour their heart and souls into had any sort of compassion. They would have signed him to an exclusive contract and got him the medical care that he needed. But nobody did that. But they were sure to put out a pithy statement about how their thoughts and prayers are with his family. So suck it, Marvel, and rest in peace, Peter David. That's my angry political statement for the show.
Just Marvel, DC too, right?
But you know what pissed me off about Marvel is
what about
that
freaking Warner Brothers or whoever does Paramount did Star Trek.
Every single one of those companies.
5. How about just JMS in general then?
Yeah, but what really pissed me off is because Marvel put out the statement afterwards.
Oh, I see.
How sorry
don't
they were.
worry, DC always does it a month later.
Have you ever heard
when it gets filters down to them?
Have you ever heard the Peter David story when he was writing the Star Trek scripts? What happened?
No.
So Paramount and who held the right, they hated his scripts. They always rejected his scripts when he was writing for him, and they're always coming back. And he thought at one point, okay, it's probably me they don't like. So at one point, he turned in a script under the name of Bruce Banner, and they accepted it. They said it was fine, perfect.
So they just hated him. That sounds about right. I wonder how many pitches I could get across the plate if I used a pseudonym.
Yeah,
I don't want to work. I don't want to work for these companies because I actually want to make money and not be forgotten when I'm on my deathbed.
Just make sure your pseudonym's Japanese, okay?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, Josh.
I understood that reference.
Akira Yoshida. And I'm sure he put very honorable in front of it just to make it extra offensive. Our friend of the show, Frank Zanka, coming in for $1.99, says, great seeing everyone in Dallas. It was fun. Absolutely had a blast hanging out.
Thank you,
Frank.
Special thank you to H.H. Germain of Sigma Comics for sharing his space with us.
Yeah.
We had a hub and we had a home base, and he's such a cool guy. I'm so blessed and grateful to be going to cons for the past few years and running into HH and making his acquaintance. And it's just good to see him again. He's a real positive force in indie comics. And secondly, huge shout out to Perch. Perch is so gracious, and he hosted us. We all had supper together and broke bread together. And it was what a wonderful night. And that was all Perch's arrangement and your generosity, Perch. Thank you so very much, man.
Yeah, it's I can honestly say now, Perch bought me the best piece of salmon I have ever had in my life. Everything on that table was fantastic. It was unbelievable.
I need a T-shirt that says "Perch bought me a beer" now. He bought me a couple, man. He got me tipsy.
Mine would say "Perch bought me a bourbon."
That drink was fantastic.
Yes, wasn't it? It was the smooth. Oh my god, it was so good. I yearn for it. Callum for $5 says, if Doc meant that actress from Star Wars Acolyte, it's a hard no to play Storm because she's incompetent and entitled. If you read her interviews, I mean, if we rule out incompetent and entitled, you're going to rule out almost every actor or actress in Hollywood.
No, I was talking about Joanna Cargill, the character Frenzy from the X-Men.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So no, I don't think Doc could identify anybody on the Acolyte.
I couldn't if you paid me.
And you're better off for it. Federico Della Casa for $2 says, "Hi guys, I loved Imperial this week. Hope it lasts." I did not read it, but I eschewed the $8 price tag. But it
was good. Obviously, it was good. It was okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so we got some mixed. Sully's saying no, Drew's saying yes.
I was saying yes. It broke my suspension of kind of disbelief right from the get-go because it's a misfit in continuity, and actually, it was a nice perspective that continuity just does not matter because Hulk's characterization betrays everything that Philip Kennedy Johnson's been laying down for over 2 years on his awesome, Incredible Hulk book. And
but obviously, this is a story outside of what's going on in Hulk. In fact, Hulk, for the most part, is a story outside of the rest of the universe.
In fairness, the next time Jonathan Hickman writes a character in character will be the first.
Fuck you.
I'm not because
I just started reading Fantastic Four because they put out that $16 fat fucking Fantastic Four book that he did.
Yeah.
That is a damn good book. And there is oodles of characterization within the characters.
I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying that it's not the characters that we know. And he is much more interested in whatever world building plot stuff.
You know what? If you said Grant Morrison, I'd agree more. How's that?
And their characterization will be bent to meet his world building plot stuff.
Well, in fairness to Jonathan Hickman,
we need a Marvel mystery. It's a great book. You guys got to get this book. It's the book of the summer.
In fairness to Jonathan Hickman, I will say this. Usually when he comes on to some characters, whatever's going on in the universe, their characterization is already so bad that it's probably better off that he just does whatever the hell it is that he wants to do.
Yeah, I mean, he's writing Nova and Star-Lord. Who gives a... You know what I mean? Seriously. I like Nova and Star-Lord for the first time.
Is it the real Nova or is it the kid Nova?
There's only two left. So
it's Dick Ryder.
It's Dick Ryder.
Yeah. Someone was definitely taking the piss with that character name. Sigma Comics for $5 says, shout out to the Thinking Critical team from Otaku Fest. Miami Dallas was a blast. Great aficionados memories with the crew. Back on Unholy Nightmare on Kickstarter today. See, that's what I love about HH is he does Here Comes Calico, which is a fantastic book. I recommend that you guys read it. Just know that it is a little bit of a hard R when it comes to rating. But I definitely recommend it if you want to read The Punisher. But The Punisher is defending animals, helpless animals from their abusers. It's a fantastic book. So if you're an animal lover, it's a good one to pick up. But HH is also always out there promoting other people's stuff. And that is really kind of the thing that's interesting is you see the people that are in the indie space that actually promote other people's stuff, and then the people that get angry that there are people producing stuff without their permission. And with that, let's go to Andrew. And
what does that have to do with me?
Can we actually talk about this?
Yeah,
that has
I'm just-
absolutely nothing to do with me.
not at all, not at all. Andrew is always out there promoting other people's books, but Andrew, according to some people, should not be allowed to exist in this space. But we
Well,
love it.
that's
So,
unfortunate.
Andrew, tell us what your books of the year so far are.
Man, right off the bat, I gotta say, like, only one of the books on my top list was mentioned by somebody else, and this is baffling to me. And it was Aquaman. So shout out to you, man, for shouting out Jeremy Adams and John Tim's Aquaman, because that book, that's the first time I've enjoyed Aquaman in a comic since like
Peter
Jeff
David,
Johns
right?
was writing it in New
Okay, Jeff
52,
Johns.
honestly.
Yeah.
That first 3 arcs in New 52 was like one of the gems of New 52 amongst the rough of mostly trash. And yeah, Jeremy Adams, not really shocking because he's a fantastic writer, especially when you can tell he's enjoying a project, right? He's doing a lot of fun stuff with the character, really interesting premise. But John Tim's art is just so incredibly clean. I every single time, like, even if I like to pick up variants of covers and things like that when I see a cool one, but with Aquaman, every single time I'm like, just give me the Tim's cover. Like, that's all I need. He's just so freaking good. But here's where I'm probably going to either take some heat from y'all or from the people in the chat, because none of y'all mentioned any of these books. And again, this is baffling to me. Ultimate Spider-Man. I'm not going to hear any disrespect to Hickman on this book, because I'm someone who does not like Jonathan Hickman. In fact, over half of my top books this year so far are by writers that I typically do not like. And that's wild to me. But Jonathan Hickman and Chichetto have been killing this book from issue 1. And the most crazy thing for me, I want to say it was like issue 4, maybe issue 5, that a guest artist, and I forget what the guest artist's name was, but it was a guest artist who was not nearly as good as Chichetto, because Chichetto is incredible. And there was not a single panel of action in the issue. It was the issue where it was just Peter and MJ on kind of double date with Harry and Gwen, and there was more tension, and I was on the edge of my seat more in that issue than I had been in comic books in like a decade. It was just that well done. Like, you could feel and see the tension and steam coming off of these characters, and I was just like, what the hell? This is crazy good writing. The world building's been really good, and I'm happy to be enjoying a Spider-Man book again, because Amazing sure isn't doing it. Amazing is awful. Like, I thought it was going to be a nice change once Wells was off of it. Nope. Amazing Spider-Man's really trash right now. I mean, you got great art, but the book itself, the story is no good. No good at all. Al Ewing and Carlos Gomez are killing it on All New Venom. That book is so much fun. That's a better Spider-Man book right now than the main Spider-Man book at Marvel, which is really pathetic. But Carlos Gomez understands how to draw MJ like nobody else. He knows how MJ should look. He knows how she should move. And the dynamics between the characters right now are great. Something that a lot of people, I'm sure, it's a sticking point for them. The fact that Paul's still a part of it. Look, Paul is a part of the universe right now. He sucks. He's trash. Carlos Gomez and Al Ewing agree. They don't like him, but they have to deal with him. These are the cards they're dealt. Just because, and thank you for the correction earlier, just because the Venom book is not under Nick Lowe directly, they can't just throw out everything that Nick Lowe is doing in the Spider office and be like, oh, we're just going to rewrite this and we're going to get rid of Paul. Dude, I'd love that. I'd be super happy to get rid of Paul. I'd love to see the character get killed off, and in the like most brutal way possible. It'd make me very happy. But we're not getting
the new villain, the wood chipper.
All right. Yes. I'm here for do it. Like, put him in like top knot first, right? Like, do it. I'm here for it. But the art is beautiful. The dialogue is a ton of fun, and something a lot of people I think really forget is that there's so much history and context between MJ and the Venom symbiote that the fact that they're paired together temporarily, this isn't a permanent thing. Anybody that thinks it is kidding themselves. But it's really, really interesting because when you think about the history between those two characters, it provides for a lot of great new world building to build off of. Witchblade over at Image, I'm really enjoying. It's the first time I've enjoyed Witchblade since like the first 50 issues of the original run. back in the 90s and early 2000s because I didn't like when Ron Mars was writing it. I didn't like when they did when Image was doing all the their own Rebirth line for everything, and Witchblade Rebirth was not good. This book is beautiful, and it's super dark. It feels like a genuinely dark book for the first time in a really long time. So anybody that liked Witchblade back, for myself, when I was reading Witchblade before my mom knew I was reading Witchblade, when I probably shouldn't have been reading Witchblade, that's a worthwhile read. Absolutely worthwhile read. The other books, though,
to me because usually I think Marguerite Bennett is terrible, but
yeah, I hadn't read any of her stuff, and so I just kind of went in with a blank slate, and I was like, all right, let's see what you got. And the art was gorgeous, and the writing was on point, and I'm like, wow, this is really good. And then I went online, I was like, oh, so people aren't a fan of her. Well, okay, but I'm a fan of this book, and so I'll take things, project by project. And on that note, Uncanny X-Men. Here's where it happens. Here's where it happens.
April 1st? What the hell?
Uncanny X-Men.
If Sully is getting on you for liking a book,
I'm kidding.
that is crazy.
Hold on.
We've got a show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome
Listen,
for the
I was
ratings.
holding my tongue until then, but keep going. I might have
Go ahead, because I like 2 of the X books actually.
I hate all of the X books right now except for Uncanny. Mid K has told I dropped 11 issues in when I finally decided to drop the main X-Men
really
book.
you
was
didn't
just
read that
so
Alpha
boring.
Flight issue when that fucking
fish
comes to Earth? That was
I did see that one
story, man.
I read it and I was just like, this isn't saving this title for me. It's just boring. Nothing meaningful is happening to me, and I just don't care. There will be moments that I enjoyed, when Scott is being Dick Scott. I'm like, oh, okay, so he's putting it on the table, right? Okay, so that's a good moment. And then the rest of the issues got nothing. There was that issue where
that's what happens when the Beast is involved.
Yeah, that issue, there was a lot of back and forth dialogue and a team up between Scott and Magneto, and that was super interesting. But again, the rest of the book, I was just like, why am I reading this? I'm not looking forward to reading this at all. This is just a boring book. X-Force was boring. X Factor was boring. Exceptional is awful. I couldn't get past the first 3 issues, and I wanted to read that book solely because I'm a big Emma Frost fan, and that book was just this is unreadable. I can't do this. This is awful.
The excretional X-Men. That's what I call it.
That's pretty good. But Uncanny is actually really, really good when it comes to characterization of a lot of my favorite X-Men characters. I'm a big Rogue and Gambit guy. It's the best I've seen them written and most in character I've seen them written in a very long time. Gale, who is a writer that I cannot stand for the life of me and don't typically trust her as far as I could throw her, which is definitely not very far, but she understands the voice of these characters, and that's what I appreciate about the book. She's introducing some interesting new characters, but the characters that I already love, Rogue, Gambit, Kurt. I don't really care about Jubilee. She's whatever. Jubilee's always been kind of lame, but she understands those characters, and I've been enjoying that book so thoroughly.
I have Moonbeam. That's all I have to say. Moonbeam.
Oh, don't. What's wrong with
Moonbeam? Moonbeam and Ground Bear. She's trying so hard to get that over. Oh, Andrew, you're going down a path I can't follow. You're breaking my heart.
Yeah.
Because
that's okay. That's okay.
I can't handle Gale's Rogue dialogue at all. I cannot stand it.
Yeah.
I think it's fine too.
She sounds like Rogue.
I can't go there with you, man. But that's good. That's good. We've got some disagreement. I know Josh is going to.
That's all right. That's all right.
We'll circle back to this because I want to get. I want to get.
If I'm being completely honest, I want people to like what they like, and
yes,
I might disagree with it, but by all means, if you like it, I'm happy. So.
Yes. And that's the way it should be. We can vehemently disagree. We can fight it out. It's fun for the viewers. But at the end of the day, all of you in the chat, art is subjective, and you're going to like what you like, and that's absolutely you're right. Even if we'll make fun of you for it. So
look at me. Gee.
You are welcome to make fun of me for it.
Speaking of making fun, Doc, I know that you're not reading a lot of new books.
No.
But what do you consider kind of the things that actually drew you back in to the comic book shop this year?
All right, so I'm still not going regularly, and I still don't have a pull list. But and so if I miss a book, I mean, I just have to live with it until I stumble across it, because they are not getting my fucking money on any sort of regular, reliable basis right now. Now, that being said, G.I. Joe. Absolutely 100% G.I. Joe. It's just an exceptional book.
Energon one?
Yeah. No, actually, in the last month, I picked up basically the last 6 issues, and I'm starting to read A Real American Hero again regularly.
Dude, it's the best Larry Hama's ever written.
Yeah,
It
that's what I was
really
about to say.
is.
He's doing his best work.
I can't believe it.
Today.
The only
Pardon
thing that I could say that I've liked by Larry more than this was from about issue 30 to 55 of Wolverine. Like that 25 issues where he's just banging it out on all cylinders, back with Lady Deathstrike and like Wolverine in the Spanish Civil War with
Let me
Puck.
ask you a question about that real quick.
Yeah.
Because it's very important to Moonbeam, okay?
Okay.
How do you like Knucklehead? Because I hated that shit.
Oh, yeah, it was
I mean,
really...
the old Knucklehead, and I'm like, no, this is not good at all.
Yeah.
No, that was never good.
It was a really bad, really forced self nickname. Like,
that's the other thing
himself.
about it, isn't it? It's a self nickname. I mean, at
Yeah.
least Moonbeam is somebody being called that, you know.
Yeah.
It
just seems,
stop calling me Moonbeam, and then it'll be fine, you know.
It's just too late for Wolverine and Rogue have known each other far too long to suddenly have nicknames for each other out of nowhere at the same time. Knucklehead always bugged the shit out of me.
Weapon X-Men.
That's a good one.
It's by far, and it's not even close, the only readable X book at the moment, and it's actually good. You go from good Weapon X-Men to unreadable trash everything else in the line. Sorry, man. I know you like this Uncanny book, but
you're welcome to that position. You are fully welcome to that position. It is your money and it's my money.
And it's the only time that I can think that you have an X line that there is really no tiers of quality. I mean, even during the Krakoan era, there was a couple of books that every once in a while would be okay, or, you know, solid but not great. And there was like a tier system where you got down to shitty. This is, you have one good, competent book, and every single other thing is unreadable garbage. I've never seen this before. But I'm not going to dwell too much on that. Because this is about what we're actually enjoying. And then I really do like Ultimate Spider-Man. I have some issues with pacing, with the fact that a lot of this feels like Jonathan Hickman's just killing time before he brings the maker back. And like he put like an artificial deadline on it and is just kind of treading water until it happens, or letting everything else catch up. I can't figure out what the fuck he's doing. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if you had Spider-Man doing more Spider-Man adventures in Ultimate Spider-Man, that book would be perfect.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I actually, it's the weird thing. As I mentioned earlier, whenever somebody else was talking about Imperial, Jonathan Hickman, generally the characterization he sucks at, and like, characters actually feeling like humans, because he is a walking world building engine, not a person. And the world building's great. His world building in the Ultimate Universe is fucking terrible, but his characterization in Ultimate Spider-Man is exceptional, which is super weird. It almost feels like it's being ghost written by somebody else. Because it's so opposite his. No, but it's so opposite his normal thing.
I'll
But
give
at
you
the
one
same time-
thing. When you guys are talking about Hickman fitting the story, here's another example in Imperial where it should have been Legion of Superheroes, because where they're doing the little data bites, that's a Legion of Superheroes bit, you know, and he definitely wanted to write that.
This is definitely 100% his unused Legion pitch.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that.
It's not. I mean, they're but the thing is he adapts his stuff
Yeah.
within, and I love the way he has an attention to detail of things that happened in the past. But Ultimate Spider-Man, there's none of that. It's like he's just, putting
Exactly.
it together.
But so I really do like Ultimate Spider-Man. It's something that's actually getting me to read. Unfortunately, I think this is also over, but that it's terrible name, but that and under normal circumstances you couldn't pay me to read this guy. But David Pepos' Cable Loving Chrome. Actually pretty good. Now, do I have some objections? Yeah. The chick in there is exactly Jessica, but just not in name. Cable's fucking wife from the future. It's literally her, except for they decided not to use her. Every single part of it is her. The look, the attitude, the behaviors, the decision making, except for they just slapped it on new random future brown girl. So that said, I do really enjoy the story. And you know what? I'm back to not utterly hating Amazing Spider-Man. It is not great. It is not great by any stretch. But
And you want to give me crap for my opinions?
Hey, it is not great.
I ain't trying to hear any of that now.
After fucking Zeb Wells, it is a major improvement, and it's kind of back to just middling. Honestly, the pre-JMS post Heroes Reborn ASM book, not great, not bad, just kind of there.
No, it just feels like Brand New Day, which is why it's crap.
I was thinking it's more like Paul Jenkins on Spectacular Spider-Man, which was the best Spider-Man during the JMS days.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah,
guys, I want to take a
that's how I
moment.
feel.
I want to take a moment to roast Tom Cruise nuked my account because he is refusing to read Energon because Snake Eyes is not yet a Joe and Baroness is on the G.I. Joe team. And he says a story where Snake Eyes is not a Joe and Baroness is not a Cobra is not G.I. Joe. Correct. It's Energon G.I. Joe. It's a different universe where
That's
the
what a real
Transformers
American
exist.
hero is.
And
It
here's the thing.
just got started.
Yeah,
Besides,
Snake Eyes is not
you know
a
the
Joe
Baroness
and
is gonna
Baroness is not a
turn.
Cobra.
Yeah.
That's right. They're not there.
She was a villain before.
But beating that Mercer laid down on Duke, you know that Mercer's gonna turn. You know he's a double agent. Come on.
Sorry, we didn't let Aaron get his digs in yet.
Oh no, I just want to say like they're not there yet. It's like you have to let the story play out. We're getting a before G.I. Joe and before Cobra kind of story set in a different universe. If you want Baroness on Cobra and you want Snake Eyes on G.I. Joe, you've got a real American hero there, which by the way is also kicking ass with Larry Hama firing on all cylinders, Chris Mooneyham art, Paul Pelletier art, trading off. That book looks absolutely fantastic. And by the way, I think I lost mine this week because I can't find it. Because I think when I came out of the comic book store, I think I set my books on top of my car to unlock the door, and I think I drove off with my books on top of the car. So,
That's a nightmare comic fans have had.
Yes.
Did I misplace it? Maybe on the top of my car.
The worst one I've ever had was I was reading while laying on the couch one time, fell asleep.
Oh man!
Wow. Ended up rolling over. Like obviously the thing ended up fucking mangled. When I woke up, I'm like, oh, I gotta go buy this comic again.
Oh, geez,
all right, let's hear from the man so cool they call him the Breen. Eric, what do you have for us? From this year? What's getting you to actually make the trek to the comic book shop, if anything?
Oh, I know that 2025 has been a much better year than the last couple. I've got a couple of I think a top 5, got a couple honorable mentions, which is how good the year's been. Hyde Street. Yeah, I really like that's a slice of life if you live in a really twisted place. Green Lantern. Yeah, really, really enjoying that. I'm not a real big fan of everybody having superpowers like the superhero family type thing. So I'm not, Carol being Star Sapphire as a hero. I don't know, but that's a small complaint. Let's see. Red Coat and Superman are kind of tied for 5, although probably Red Coat edges that out. I do like what they're doing with Lex. I choose not to. I employ my mental editor, so I just kind of forgot about his mom having put it all together. But I like it. Yes, he's turned face a couple times, but it seems like they're doing a little different this time, especially the last issue when they did the flashback to the beginning of it when he was fully intending to screw Superman over by setting up, Supercore. But, and then the stuff happened where he lost his memory, but now he's getting his memory back. He doesn't really want to go back to that guy, to being that guy. So it's a little different way of doing it. And when I've been reading Superman regularly for 50 years now, and you see everything. And when you see something that's even remotely different, if it clicks, you kind of latch onto that, and that's kind of what I'm enjoying about that run. Let's see, I've got Flash Gordon. Absolutely love that series. It's amazing that they've got Will Conrad on art, but when he misses a couple issues, they bring in Tom Derenick, who's been around, for 30 plus years, and the art doesn't suffer. So the backup artist on Flash Gordon is better than 90% of the artists at Marvel. But let's see.
I mean, he's good. He's really good. I agree. But I mean, let's not get crazy.
I'm not getting crazy.
Tom Derenick we're talking about.
Say something crazy, Breen.
I mean, that's
the fans want from you.
I'd take Tom Derenick over 90% of the artists at Marvel.
Okay. All right.
Is that crazy?
I don't know.
I mean,
I agree with you.
Good art. That Kareem guy is excellent, and whoever is doing Imperial's good. Joe Quesada's drawing right now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that was mid.
Yeah, but
we gotta get
to
that.
like 90 titles.
Mid art.
Did you read Doom's Division?
No, nobody reads Doom's Division. What are you, stupid?
I did see a really good cover on Doom's Division though when we were in Titan Comics in Dallas.
Covers don't count.
I know, but like I was like, but there was a character.
Drew.
There was a character that like I was like, is this a Marvel Rivals design? It must be because it looks great. And I almost like flipped through the book. I almost did.
I'm just saying that through the years, if I opened a book and Tom Derenick was on art, I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't like, oh fuck, this guy.
He's good. He did all that.
So
sorry, I didn't mean to derail.
No. So like a company like Mad Cave that is still rather smallish. That they
they stepped up this year big time.
Absolutely.
Well, end of last year. This year.
I had to check to see if Kosher Mafia was this year, but only one of the issues, so that I couldn't include that. But I said to have. Usually, I said if they actually get a good artist on a title, and then somebody has to miss a couple, it suffers. It really does. I mean, I'm not saying he's as good as Will Conrad, but it's not so bad. It's like Ultimate Spider-Man, which is also on my list, which I was happy to hear mentioned a couple times. Because again, I've been reading Spider-Man for 50 years, and I've gone all the way back. I've read them all, and when we get to more Spider-Man action, it's going to look a lot like the Spider-Man, hopefully before Marvel decided to ruin the character 20 years ago that they've never recovered from, but that's a story for another day. So I'm enjoying seeing Uncle Ben instead of Aunt May, a version of J. Jonah that we haven't seen before. Obviously, a version of Gwen and Harry we haven't seen before. The twist on the Mysterios. It's a fun book. Again, it's something different, and if the characterization is good, I can take a couple issues at a time without any wall-to-wall action, because when you get to it, it's going to be that much better. So that's definitely on my list. Space Ghost, probably the best thing I'm reading right now, which is kind of crazy to think when you think about who the writer is. But it's just the characterization again. It's just enough of a nod to the 60s, but updating the characters in not an obnoxious way. A lot of books like this in modern times, Jan would be the smartest of all of them, and she'd have to save the day constantly. But they all play their part. They all do their things to help Space Ghost. And so, and the art, I agree. Jonathan Lau, I don't know how long this book's going to last, but he's definitely destined for bigger things. But
he's done every single issue. How hard?
Yeah.
I mean, he's 12 issues so far, 13.
Yeah.
He's practically a unicorn in the industry right now.
But something that no one's mentioned that I'm kind of surprised by is Dick Tracy. 10 issues, two arcs. Both of them have had great payoffs. I'm not one of those. I mean, I haven't read all the Dick Tracy, comic strips and whatnot, but I've read enough to. I mean, so okay, you've read them all. I mean, does that cloud how you read Dick Tracy, or are you reading Dick Tracy?
No, I'm enjoying it. I think it's is it Alex Segura that's writing it? I'm not. I mean,
he's got a co-writer.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
It's Michael Marici that's co-writing. And if you've never looked at Michael's stuff, he's gone under the radar. He's actually a fantastic freaking writer. So
yeah, no, he's great, and no, I'm enjoying it. I think it jibes well with the original Dick Tracy strips. When the movie came out back in the day, I was really kind of taken by the characters, and then my grandmother got me this big volume of all of the comic strips. So I sat down and I read through all of them, and I think this is definitely a great spiritual successor. It's updated in some ways, but I'm really digging it.
But it doesn't feel like it's been modernized. So
no, not to a point of being unrecognizable. Just like the storytelling conventions thinks that obviously you're doing a comic book instead of a comic strip, so it's going to be paced differently and there's going to be different ways to do it. But I think that I love all those weird characters, and the fact that Mezco is now making Dick Tracy villains in their 1/12 line, I want to buy all those weird mobsters. So I am enjoying the book. I think you're right. It is an under the radar gem.
Yeah, and I do want to point out the one reason why there are no Energon books or Transformers, G.I. Joe, stuff like that. As was pointed out a couple months ago, I am somebody's favorite dinosaur, and I am comfortably in my 60s. So I missed a lot of that stuff when it came out, and I just never went back because there's only so much time to read. So
you don't have to have enjoyed them back in the day to enjoy them now.
Yeah, and I've never been a big fan of licensed properties.
Maybe a little bit.
I make exceptions, but
if you know who Optimus Prime is, you're safe. I
couldn't pick Optimus Prime out of a lineup.
Oh, stop it! You couldn't.
Oh, come on!
That's some bullshit right there. That's some bullshit.
I have never watched a Harry Potter movie.
Something
or read a
crazy.
Harry Potter book.
That's because you know who Tim Hunter is. That's why.
Okay, is he? But aren't there more than one big giant transformer?
You know what? Yes, we're going to put them big good guys and bad guys, and you're going to figure it out. I guarantee goddamn tea. I didn't know shit about Archie ever, really. But even still, it seeps into your conscience. You know about the redheads. You know about Betty and Veronica.
If I
don't forget Cheryl. Archie's been around since 1941.
If I put all the Archie characters up in a lineup and I said, Yule, who's Jughead? You can tell me. If I said,
everybody would know.
Who's Reggie Mantle? You would know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He's the guy who loves the hamburgers.
Prime. I'm not going to tell you he's a big truck, okay?
Thanks to Riverdale, I could totally answer that question.
But what if he's transformed? How am I going to know who it is?
You won't, because he's a gun. I'm not talking about Optimus anymore. But
we're talking about Megatron.
Because he's a fucking gun. That's how you know. That must be a bad guy. All right, Transformers are stupid, but this book is still really good.
Okay, Dylan, you love G.I. Joe, but you've never cared about the Transformers.
Yep, could not care less about him.
But if I asked you who Optimus Prime was,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
obviously
you
know
would
who Optimus Prime is.
I mean, he saw a Michael Bay movie, you know.
There you go. I haven't seen
But-
any of those.
But does
Well,
he know
Dylan's
who
reading.
Psykill is? Is
But
it
I don't
Psykill
know
and Leader
Richard
One? Huh? You know that one.
Dylan
huh,
is
man?
Dylan is like, I saw the Michael Bay movie, and that's why I don't care about Transformers.
Pretty much.
But no, Sully, Psykill and Leader One, those would be the leaders of the good guys
GoBots.
and the bad guys in GoBots.
Yes, I know.
Now, if Breen said he didn't know of GoBot, I would totally agree with him there. Like, I could
Yeah,
believe
no,
that.
I mean we
you
can all
know.
forgive that.
No idea.
But like, okay, so this is a great new segment that we can do on Thinking Critical now, and I'm gonna run this by Wes. We're gonna do a game show where we make Breen identify characters and properties from the 80s. That
You
he
just
has
need
no
like
idea.
a lineup. Pick this
Yeah.
person out of the lineup. Yeah.
Which one
I
of
like
these
that.
which one of these is Lion-O, Breen?
Forgive him, man. His GI Joe had real hair on its head. You know what I mean?
That's right.
What he brushed. You know, those are called dolls. Okay, Breen? Those were not
Action figures.
I want you to know that when you got real hair, it's a doll. Then, okay.
Bwah.
All
It's
right.
who's
Now, my
who,
choice
Eric
is,
Breen.
when we do this, my choice is A, B, or next.
No. It's going to be a lineup of 5. It's going to be like 5 characters, and you've got to pick the one that you think is
Okay.
the.
Sully, Drew, some old dude. Oh, they're not. The same.
Oh man.
Hey, man, I'm a Marvel fan. You know, you got to keep up with this shit. You know what I mean?
So now that we've all kind of given our list, actually, I want to give a
Don-
shout out to
yeah,
Andrew
you did, yeah.
for pushing Jeremy Adams' Aquaman. I'm hearing that book is in trouble, sales wise.
Oh yeah, it's in trouble.
It's really
So-
good.
Shame.
If you guys-
it's Aquaman, it's in trouble. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, look, how many issues of Aquaman did they give Kelly Sue to Conic?
And
You know,
look, Aaron, I guarantee you, if they had slapped the Absolute title on,
Oh,
I
Oh.
agree.
Well said,
It's
Drew.
totally
Well
different.
said.
Dude,
Yeah, it could be.
I just finished the second issue. It's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah.
should go out and get Aquaman. The art is really that's an 8 easy. That John
Mhm.
Timms guy is good, and Adams, man, he's doing all the characters that really don't sell well in my store: Green Lantern
Mhm.
Corps, Aquaman.
You should be back on Flash because that book's trash right now.
Oh, I
my
know.
God.
But like his
Garbage.
Flash Gordon is doing as well as my Aquamans, and and you know what I mean. Like that's how good Adams is. Like he can keep Flash Gordon in the bad character numbers.
Drew's
Yeah,
right.
I like Flash Gordon as an overall concept, but like you would not have gotten me to buy a Flash Gordon book if Jeremy Adams' name wasn't on it. That's why I
Right.
picked it up.
Fair.
And he is absolutely delivering. It is fantastic. His Aquaman is fantastic. His Green Lantern is fantastic. Everything that he is reading is like, everything that he is writing is just like right in my wheelhouse. So guys, if you have not checked out Aquaman yet, and you haven't just completely sworn off the big two or the mainstream, and I know some of you have, but definitely check out Jeremy Adams' work on Aquaman. Check it out on Flash Gordon. This is a guy who deserves to be elevated. And we
Yeah.
complain all the time
Get him on
about the
Superman.
fact that oh my God, I would love to have him on
Wait a
Superman.
second, boys.
Get him on Superman and have him
Superman's
fix
fine.
John. Let him fix John Kent.
Yeah.
You can put him
I
on
have to
a.
say real-
DH Sean Ken at that point. So.
Oh, you'd have
say real
to.
quick.
You can't though. You can't fix John Kent because politically they would never allow you to fix.
Well,
John
he talked about it right on this channel with Wes
Yeah.
that he wanted to DH John. One of the few like writers at DC coming out right now being like, yeah, I always pitch that to DC. So yeah,
They
give
should let him do it. It's the only way to salvage that character.
And then he said
Yep.
something like, "I guess they don't like money." He let that slip, in that conversation.
throwing away the Super Sons book and aging up artificially John Kent was the DC Comics like equivalent of when WWE like broke up the Shield at the height of their popularity. Like you're gonna do this thing, like this is one of your best books right now, and you have a phenomenal dynamic between these two characters, and you're just gonna throw it out.
Well, that was always
Okay.
that was always Vince's thing, wasn't it? Just like, oh, they're at the peak of their popularity. Now let's have somebody do a heel turn. That was always the way. And but yeah, no, these companies are leaving money on the table. They're leaving money on the table all the time. and it's ridiculous. You remember when they were doing all those ads? Bendis is coming, and everybody was laughing like, "Yeah, he sure
God.
is. He's gonna be jizzing all over everything."
Double page ads.
He did something
Double
over
pagers.
everything, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Poor
he
Tomasi
definitely-
on that too. Like getting kicked from an incredible rebirth run. Aaron, can I just name 3 books right now that we didn't
please
mention
do.
that should have been mentioned? One is going to be Feral.
Yes.
We didn't
Yes.
talk about
I
Feral.
agree.
It's probably the most universal book. It is the one book. We have a book club at my comic shop that we do. It's the one book that every single person in our comic book club is reading. So no matter what your taste is, you can find enjoyment there. Daredevil Cold Day in Hell. It's a mini series.
Yes.
That's a hot
Yes.
book in my store.
Yeah. Oh my
Really
God.
good.
They're
Real hot.
killing it.
Niven.
And
I
I'm
got 1 issue left.
I know. I'm bummed. I mean, they're double size issues, so you're practically getting
Yeah.
2 issues per issue. But other than that, I would say Batman Dark Patterns is a lot of
Yes.
fun right now.
Dark
So,
Patterns.
It's hot in my store too.
and controversial, but Resurrection Man I like, but I know some people don't like it.
Oh, really?
I've heard good things.
Ooh,
I haven't
I
read
like
it, but
it.
I've heard really good things.
That's one of those
Resurrect-
characters. That's worse than Aquaman as far as sales.
Oh
It's
yeah.
always going to be that way.
It's going to be a
Regardless.
tough sell. Yeah.
I mean,
this
they had
character's-
Abnett and Lanning, I think, back in the day.
They
That's
did.
good, so
And Jack Ice.
even before RIP.
So I just want to say, Cuckoo is saying that Shumagorath Marvel Legends pre-sale announced for 6/18, Amazon exclusive. It looks amazing, and it could be the figure of the year for me. It does look amazing. I cannot wait to order that baby. Unfortunately, I
You're gonna
missed
do
the.
that.
I'm going to do it.
Seriously.
It's an exclusive. I have to get
Yeah,
Shumagorath.
that's
There's
nice.
no other way. I don't want to,
All right.
but this
all
is
right.
this is the game they play. I didn't want to have to
Yeah.
go to Target.com and try to order Thanos and Psylocke, which I missed because Target sucks.
Ooh.
You
Oh,
know,
yeah, they do.
but like I want all of those Marvel versus Capcom,
Well, Shumagorath, that's pretty cool. I got my Doctor Strange
And-
ready to go.
and you can actually pose him in the little like smug win position from the
Mhm.
game. Like he's got all the little parts to do that. So he's got an eye that you can manipulate. You're gonna love it, Yul.
Hey, and this time around, we don't have to worry about Capcom or Hasbro using a earthquake or an earthquake in Japan as an excuse to sell it to you again instead of putting out DLC like they did with Marvel vs. Capcom 3. By the way, I will never forgive Capcom for that, and I will never buy another one of their games because of that bullshit that they pulled.
I don't even remember what you're talking about, Doc.
Marvel vs. Capcom 3, whenever it was out, they were putting out DLC for it. And because of the earthquake
Mhm.
in Fukushima, they stopped putting out DLC. And then in order to get all the DLC, you had to buy the fucking game again as Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Oh, see, I picked it up on like a couple years ago when they re-released it, so I didn't know any of that.
Yeah. So basically, if you already bought it, fuck you. Buy it now again, but this time for $70.
That sounds right. That
Is
sounds
that
like
They
cool.
didn't offer any sort of ability to trade in.
Carlitos Figueroa for $10 says Ultimate Spider-Man, Superman, Incredible Hulk, Batman and Robin, Green Lantern, and Aquaman are the best thing the big two got. It's a shame they don't put the same energy into their other titles. Well, I mean, you can only have Daniel Warren Johnson and or PK Philip Kennedy Johnson and Jeremy Adams on so many titles.
Right. Or they turn into Jed McKay.
You either
say
die
that-
Jeremy Adams, or you live long enough to see
Oh,
yourself
jeez.
become Ed McKay.
I just want to make a quick correction about the Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom thing. I used to be a GameStop store manager. That thing launched at $40.
Yeah. The
The Ultimate, the relaunch
yeah.
with all the DLC, that launched at $39.99.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. My local shop launched at 70, and I was
Oh.
like,
With the
fuck.
box?
I don't know what the hell they were on because that thing launched at $40.
Did
Yeah.
you get a
That's only-
T-shirt with it?
No, you didn't get shit. And I'm like,
They didn't
fuck
like
you.
it didn't have like a special like gold seal on it or something like that. Is
No,
that
I
what they
was
do?
so pissed about
Woo.
that.
Well, you might want to go back.
Doomed Huff for $2 says Quanon sucks. Betsy is the real Psylocke. I think we can all
Yes.
agree there.
Well, I mean, yeah, kind of, sort of, but Quanon is a thing, right?
Yeah.
Quanon is a thing.
I mean,
which
it was
one is
stupid
which
back
one
in
is
the 90s too? Okay.
which Psylocke is gay now, Betsy or Quanon?
Betsy.
See, I had this guy. All right. So I had this gentleman that was a regular in the store. He happens to be gay, and he was really happy about Betsy getting that Asian flair off of her because it was kind of not cool, right? But he was totally down with Bobby being a. I'm like, wait, you don't see the? And I'm like, you do realize that Jim Lee wanted to get another one in there, It was like they had to kind of anyway. It was
it's like I don't care if
$2.
Betsy's I don't care if Betsy's in a British body or if she's in a Japanese body. That is immaterial to me. I just think that her powers were more interesting once she made the transition into Lady Mandarin, and she
The
had like, the
first
psychic
issue of
blade
the
and-
recent Psylocke series, the solo series, the first issue was interesting and the art was gorgeous, but like immediately after issue 1, it just kind of got boring. And I was like, this doesn't really feel like it's going much of anywhere. The art still stayed pretty, but it was just kind of
Alyssa Wong seems to be able to deliver an adequate first issue. Like with Deadpool, I remember people saying like, "Oh, the Deadpool first issue was good actually," and they were kind of like shocked. And then as it went on, they were like, "Oh, this is awful." So, it's like she's an opener. I think Bendis was always good at especially as he started to fall off. Like he was good with a concept. Like he would give you a concept, that you'd be like, "Oh, that's interesting," like Secret Invasion or Siege, or But then he could never stick the landing. And I think that's that's a problem for a lot of writers. Is you've got to be able to stick the landing. You've got to be able to keep people interested.
Well, the other thing with Betsy and Quanon. All right, whenever they did that. Back in the Hunt for Wolverine miniseries, that none of which actually found Wolverine.
Oh my God,
there was 4 of them, and so whenever they did that, and they did the one that was just about to, the only purpose it served was to turn Betsy British again. The problem is Betsy doesn't know how to fight. She was able to fight when she was in the ninja body because she had muscle memory. Her British body has 0 muscle memory. She never learned how to actually do it, even in the years she was, a ninja assassin. So when she came back to her British body, she never should have been able to fucking fight the same way she wasn't before, and that's why she had to wear fucking armor.
You don't think any of the mind stuff goes back? I mean, maybe not muscle memory, but you definitely will have brain memory, right?
Well, you should have had the story then. Yeah, you should have had the story then where she was struggling. Like my mind knows all this.
Yeah, you're right.
Interesting.
You're right. That would be cool,
but
I don't know. Like with being resurrected and Xavier implanting languages in people's heads and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
I don't know. I don't know if I care as much.
I could have almost accepted it during her. Now she's Captain Britain for no apparent fucking reason. I could have accepted it during that period, but in the 4 years between those 2 things happening, they never did it.
Yeah, I remember when Spidey was training with Iron Fist.
Yeah, when he was training with Iron Fist.
And I mean, it's because he had some power problem. The thing is
he had
Peter
lost
Parker
his
still
spider
has muscle built up from having been Spidey, but like Doc's saying, Betsy doesn't have that muscle.
She never learned to. She could have learned, yes, but she didn't learn while she was Asian, and she didn't ever go to fucking classes. She just responded with muscle memory almost exclusively, except for when she was using her power. And never there was never the only time you ever saw a Betsy training period is when she lost her psychic powers at the beginning of when Claremont came back around Uncanny 381 and Adjectiveless 100. And she suddenly had telekinetic powers, and her learning how to use the telekinetic powers. That was the only, but there was 0 in literally 30 years. There were no issues that I could ever find where she was actually learning to fight.
I want to address this really quick. Super Mastermind says Kickstarter only sold a total of 17 million worth of, of comics last year. Unacceptable. One Piece, a manga drawn as doodles, moves 900 million a year. Drew, as somebody in the Kickstarter space, I want to talk to you about this because I think this is an unfair comparison. Manga obviously has a huge head start. It has an entrenched fan base that Kickstarter properties don't have. And
One Piece is also geared towards a young enough audience to where it has massive wide appeal.
It also has like 900 issues too.
Yes. Yeah. So there's a lot
Teenagers
there to buy.
aren't going on to Kickstarter and Indiegogo and these other places to
TV.
Back those.
It has TV also. You know, I mean, it says come buy the book. I mean,
you got that Shonen Jump app where like parents can get such a value.
Digital.
You know what I mean?
You don't have to go to it. It comes to where you go, also.
Yeah, and Drew, I'm sure that if people wanted to spend 900 million on Unholy Nightmare 2 right now, you would have no problem with that.
I don't know. Depends on their politics. I don't know.
I'll forgive them this time.
That's right. That's right.
No, it's an unfair comparison. I wish I had the reach that they do. I wish I could have that. It'd be nice. But it's just not how it is, unfortunately. But we do what we can with what we have. And right now I've got Kickstarter, and we're doing everything we can to get the word out, which we are live right now on Kickstarter.
We're live right now, and I've been putting the link in the description. You guys can check it out. I also want to say that Kneel Before Doomface is still available. We are getting ready to do our final production run once the letters are finished, and so if you want to jump in, now is the time. Also, I would say it's a good time to jump in on Kneel Before Doomface because Renzo is going through some financial problems. I would love to give him a fat bonus to kind of help him out. Right now we are at the break-even point on Kneel Before Doomface 1. But if people jump in and if more people buy into it, I could afford to give him a nice bonus and really help him out and ensure that his life is nice and smooth as we continue production on number 2. Out of everybody in the crowdfunding space who has the opportunity, the first person to hit 900 million will probably be the Ripverse. So,
900 million is a lot of money. We're a little ways off from that.
A little ways off from it, but
we're doing okay. But there's a pretty large window there.
You guys are killing it. I want to say that one of my favorite books this year was Horseman, Welcome to Florist Spark. I thought Chuck
Dixon. What do you want?
Yeah, I'm obviously I'm predisposed to like anything Chuck Dixon does. He's got a great sensibility that I enjoy, and I love street level heroes. So that was a good read for me. A couple of others that I enjoyed. I'm gonna basically everybody kind of hit my main ones on here already. I'll throw a couple out there that I'm enjoying. I'm not necessarily going to say best of the year, but highly enjoyable. Power Lords. You get some great V. Ken Marion artwork if you even remember that property. I know Breen won't know what it is. He won't be able to pick it out of a lineup if I ask him who Adam Power is.
They look like Micronauts, but worse. Okay, think about that.
Yeah, exactly. But V is making every character in there look fantastic. So I recommend that. And I'm gonna go ahead and say most improved of the year. Everybody who watches this show knows how I feel about Kelly Thompson. Probably both as a person and as a writer. But I will say that I dipped out of Absolute Wonder Woman. Some people told me, you should go back and check it out. And I went back and checked it out. And I think it's the best thing that she's ever written. So credit where credit is due.
It absolutely is. I decided to say, all right, I already took enough heat for Uncanny X-Men, but Absolute Wonder Woman is fantastic.
Do represent.
And they produced two of the best looking Absolute books of the line, and they'll probably be the two most beautiful Absolute looking books at the end of the year. I guarantee it.
Mateo, God, I can't think of his name. They worked together on a book called The Coal. So go check that out. It was actually quite good. It was an indie book, but yeah. I will say, out of the Absolute books, I do think the Wonder Woman book has the best concept.
Yes,
I still don't think they've fully landed. I'm just waiting for them to fully get there. So
I have a question because I've only read literally the one issue, and it was the one that Wes and I reviewed for Worst of the Week. And it was utterly abysmal. It was the one where she suddenly had to do some fucking magic with the two black chicks in a store just so that she could make her sword grow bigger. Or no, it was to get her arm back that she didn't end up needing to use at all. And then she just chopped that kaiju's fucking head off with a giant sword. And when it didn't work the first time, she made her sword bigger. That was it. It was the most absurdly stupid.
Hey. Why are
plot
we
that I've
hating
read.
on that little blue pill? Come on now.
Yeah, seriously, it does wonders.
Does no one want to make their sword bigger in these trying times?
And Ilyana and Wonder Woman with
If
their
your sword and
that'd
beginning
be
lasts
Crossing
longer than 4
swords.
hours.
Please consult a doctor.
No, call more friends.
Whoa.
Whoa,
I don't know if we support
Call-
that around here.
that's a different kind of show.
This is welcome to Thinking Critical After Dark, everybody.
Yeah, I was about to say that's TC After Dark.
Yeah, we've done Thinking Critical after. We've done Aficionados After Dark. Elsewhere.
These are all just jokes, everybody. Calm down.
But I mean,
They
no,
are?
like is it actually gotten better from that? Because that was fucking
Yeah.
terrible.
I would say it
Yeah,
was even better before that. You jumped into the middle of the freaking first arc without any context. I don't know
that
how
wasn't my-
much. I don't know how much you expected to understand when you're jumping into the middle of everything happening without knowing
Well,
what
this
came
is
prior.
what Wes. In fairness to Doc, this is what Wes throws at him.
Yeah.
Wes is like, "We're gonna read this," and Wes
Like,
is like, "All right."
Here,
I didn't like I remember whenever I first saw like the pitch for Wonder Woman, I'm like, so it's kind of like reverse Tomb Raider.
It's,
I don't see that read on it at all.
Yeah, I mean, I can, I don't think that's ultimately what it is. I think that it is if you made Wonder Woman a manga, I think that's the closest that if you had like a manga writer come in and do a concept for Wonder Woman, I think that's kind of like what you're getting, because it is kind of like crazy and over the top, and it is like Josh said, it's the best concept out of everything that we've got.
I think, and conceptually, look, I'm going to kind of divide the waters here. I think conceptually it's fantastic. I think writing-wise, it's not great. But I don't think Kelly Thompson's a great writer. I think she's a good storyteller. I don't think she's a great writer. And there is a
But
difference.
would you say that this is the best thing that she's written, though?
No, I would say The Coal. I would say The Coal is the best thing she's written.
Okay, I haven't read that, so I can't. I can't.
I read Mr. and Mrs. X, and it was competent, but that was the only thing I've ever liked by her.
Yeah. Look, what I think works really, really well is this idea that the gods took Diana from the Maskir and from the Amazons, and she was raised in hell. So taking that as a concept, and she was built in with witchcraft, which is kind of pulling into these more recent, like Justice League Dark type stories that they were doing in the main line. Taking that, you have endless potential and endless stories you can do. What I dislike about the writing is there's a lot of just random, like, let's have some tea, let's do this magic. But it's I don't know, it's very, it's not what I would do in 20 pages. I'll just say that. So,
Well, Kelly Thompson writes, "Yeah, the land shark."
yeah,
According
she
to Foil
does.
variant. Yeah.
Which are actually wonderfully fun.
Yeah, they remind me of like old school newspaper strips and the Sunday.
Reminds me of
Fun.
like reading Calvin and Hobbes, right?
Yeah, it's dumb, it's cute, it's fun, and you can't take it seriously. And so
Jeff the Land Shark is exactly what it needs to be. Like,
Mhm.
you know.
And
Now,
that's
is
why
this
Sully
funny
has a Jeff the Land Shark chest tattoo, as we found out.
But the important question here,
That was
the
a-
important
that was a
question
secret.
I
about
didn't
Aaron
know
Sparrow-
this. I missed this.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
important question here: is it as funny as the Candygram Shark skit on Saturday Night Live?
Well, that did get old a bit too.
Everything
you'd
works
have
out
to
as
know
well.
Jaws and the
And
sensation
Candygram.
of Jaws to get Candygram, land shark kind of thing, I guess.
General
only a
Balsack wants to know. I don't know which campaign he's asking about here, whether it's Unholy Nightmare or it's Kneel Before Doomface or something else. But he said, "Is there a way to upgrade my pledge on Kickstarter to get a physical copy? I looked it over this morning and couldn't figure out how." Drew, you're an expert in Kickstarter. What do you?
The easiest way is to cancel your pledge and do it again. Just go and create a whole new pledge. And well, if you're getting a physical copy, we haven't talked about him yet this morning, but Vu Don, he did the 10-pager for the Gollum backup. It is incredibly beautiful. Did it all by hand. I sent Josh and Aaron, guys, the video of Vu drawing it, of him doing the cover by hand in ink, and the guy is insane. I guarantee you that he will be a superstar next year. We will be talking about him.
We'll be chasing him down, trying to afford him. Like that's and that's really the goal with any of these guys is, I've always said that any artist that I worked with when I was, working at Boom, when I was working at Ape, when, no matter where I was working, I was said, like, my goal is to get you so, so ready for prime time that people can't help but come and hire you away from me. And then I have to chase you down and go, hey, remember we were buddies? Remember I gave you a break? Could you do a cover for me? That's always the goal. I want artists to make money. I want people in comics to make money. I know that that's not what the publishers want, but that's what I've always wanted.
Yeah. Yep.
And and Aaron, I asked Wes, what would his pick for best midterm of 2025 be? Because he's not here this week.
Who is this Wes you speak of?
Who is this Wes? Oh, this is our show now.
Wes character.
So Wes picked Space Ghost as his. He said one title, and his favorite of 2025 so far, halfway through the year, is Space Ghost by David Pepose.
Can I change my pick now?
Oh my goodness, I got another one. If you want to hear it, I mean, I got an honorable mention. I think an honorable mention is Walking Dead Deluxe. I forgot how much I love this book, and then I started picking up Walking Dead Deluxe, specifically at issue 101, right after we were introduced to Negan and Glenn meets his horrible fate. And then color, oh my goodness, it's like, this is really good. So just the honorable mention goes to Walking Dead Deluxe, and also The Death of Copra by Michel Fife. That is a wonderful comic book lover's comic book. It's just the art, the lettering, everything about it. It's just really good book. I don't think many people were talking about it, and but hence that's the coolness of being like underground in a way, Indeed.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Did anyone like Eddie Brock Carnage? Because I love the hell out of that book.
I'm behind.
I was getting water. I want to say.
You want to say?
Someone reads Cobra.
It's got to be Yule Carter.
Of course, it's me.
Exactly. He's got taste. He's got style.
He does everything. He writes and he draws and he pencils and he inks and he letters and he colors.
Yeah, it's a one-man show.
I'm still going to call him Michael Fife.
I'm sure.
And you know what? Honestly, too, everyone's been giving praise to Ultimate Spider-Man. I agree with you for the most part. I find, I'm a lifelong Soprano fan here. Like, I watch it once a year. And so I think that Hickman is trying to do the Sopranos of superhero comic books, especially with the pacing, especially with all the dinner scenes and the focus on secondary characters. But seriously, nobody's giving enough attention to Brian Hill and Stefano Caselli's Ultimate Black Panther, which I think pound for pound is one of the best Marvel superhero comic books coming out on a monthly basis.
It's getting better. I'll say that. It's getting better.
It's got intrigue. It's got action. Every issue, there's always a fight scene. There's always something going on, and it's always building and elevating the story as we're going along. I think it does an amazing job, and not just being an Ultimate book. It's got to be one of the best superhero books Marvel is putting out consistently, month for month. And more love for that.
I've checked out a couple issues. I haven't been reading it regularly. It's a really good book. I don't know if it necessarily is. It seems like it's just that's what the regular Black Panther book should be.
Yes,
I agree.
It's those regular. It is. That's probably why I'm enjoying it so much, because it's a little bit of typicity or normalcy, and like we're not getting what we want. Here's some of this. Try some of this Black Panther, man. You're gonna love it, man.
All right. Speaking of Black Panther, I would be remiss because if Wes were here and he were able to plan out the show and we didn't have to plan in advance, we would definitely be talking about White Black Panther. Dylan, what do you think is what do you think is going on?
I mean, it's Christopher Priest. It's just him doing what he wants. It's pretty funny. And it'll be hilarious to see how long this lasts. I read that page that I just saw posted on Twitter of it where he just beats the shit out of T'Challa and then it's like, this is me now. You were a deadbeat dad. Now I'm the Black Panther. That was very funny. It'd be hilarious if they actually did something like that in the MCU. It would be better than Shuri as Black Panther. But yeah, I thought it was funny. But who knows how long this will last?
So is Ryan Gosling really going to be cast as the Black Panther of the MCU now? Is it happening? Is the meme coming true?
I wish.
He's in Star Wars.
Christopher Priest is the best, man. He wants to just fuck around with anything he get. I like him. He's all right.
Yeah. He's great to chat with. He's got a great sense of humor.
Dude's been like slaving away on fucking Vampirella for way too long. Get him on. This is good. I mean, this is good for him. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, it's the first thing that Marvel's done that's gotten them any attention, because we know One World Under Doom sure ain't doing
It's a little negative attention. It's a lot of negative attention.
But it's negative attention from the people who don't spend money on comics. It's like, at best, they can say, I'm not going to read your book on the pirate site. You know,
I hear that there are chat rooms dedicated to superhero fans of color, and they were howling about this.
Why do they care so much? It's just a
I
mantle.
don't know. I'm just saying. A lot of the people that
now I can
bought
finally relate to
Priest
Black
books-
Panther. I never could before.
I finally feel seen, even though I've loved Black Panther my whole life. You know, now suddenly I like him so much more because I see myself
Finally,
in
he
Black
has
Panther.
gravitas. You know what I mean?
Yes, because he matches arbitrary physical traits.
Listen,
I didn't know it was a white dude, Doc.
I just want to say Christopher Priest is getting way too much praise, because if anyone deserves the mantle of white Black Panther, it is I, Joshua McDonald, the man who has fought for Wakanda forever for the past 2.5 years.
You are the only person I know who liked that movie.
He was.
Yes.
Well, at least that's Black Panther too, right?
Oh man.
And you can go to Ollie's and find plenty of action figures to turn into white Black Panther.
Yeah, you absolutely
Nice.
can.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, Aaron will repaint it for you.
That's right. You know, let me know. I'll customize it for you.
I do have a Christopher Priest story from it was, I think, 2016 Comic-Con San Diego, and we interviewed him because he was doing the Deathstroke book, and I asked the question like, "Hey, what made you want to write Deathstroke?" And he's like, "Well, DC called me." And they're like, "Hey, we've got, we're doing Rebirth, we're relaunching everything. We want you to write." And he goes, "I'm not writing Cyborg." And they're like, "Oh." And he goes, "And I'm not writing a black guy." And then he just hung up on them. So he said it was like a week to week and a half later that they called him like, "Well, we have some ideas for it." And he's like, "I want to write Deathstroke." And they're like, "Oh, okay, let us talk some things out." And then sure enough, he wrote Deathstroke. So I just love that he was like, cut him off, like, I'm not writing Cyborg, and I'm not writing the black guy.
Aquaman sales.
Yeah. I was like, all right,
Yeah, stop trying to trying to cast me and just hire me. Like, you know, it's ridiculous.
I met him a year later. I met him a year later at C2E2. He was doing the Deathstroke versus Batman storyline, which was a lot of fun. But
Who's your daddy? Who's your dad?
Yeah, that was
his line at the show was insane. Like, I remember every so often he'd be looking around the corner. He'd be like, he'd say, "My God!" of everyone in line to see him. It was insane. I guess he just couldn't believe the fandom that he had.
Well, I think that he blew up around that time too, because that was around the time the Black Panther film was coming out. So I think a lot of people were getting introduced to his comic book run for Black Panther. So I mean, kudos to him. The guy's like churned out books for God forever.
I mean, he's written Spider-Man, he's written Conan.
Yeah,
he's written a lot of stuff. He was editor. I mean, the guy's been in the business for a long time now. And don't typecast me. Now, this is no Gary Oldman, Christopher Priest.
Sully in the chat says, "What about Sex Panther?" Well, Sully,
Paul Rudd.
I do know that it's 60% of the time it works every time.
It smells like Bigfoot's dick.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Sully. That smells like pure gasoline. Pungent, stings the nostrils. I actually have a Sex Panther shirt that says 60% of the time it works every time. Oh my god! Before memes were invented, this is how men communicated. We just took quotes from Anchorman.
Movie quotes. You had to memorize things.
Oh my god!
I don't know. I didn't like this book one bit, and I know you'll want to talk to me about this because I disapprove of Joe Quesada's style in this. It just might be the ink, or the inking. There's no inking in this, and this goes right off.
Doesn't need inking. He's the greatest colorist ever.
I know. It just I didn't. It wasn't.
Damn, it looks hot, and I love. All right, so this is the thing about Christopher Priest that people might not know. He would do all those Fraser bits at the beginning of all his segments in Black Panther, and then eventually all the other comics. And he said like Fraser stole this in one of them, and every little title would be a scene within the comic book, and it felt like chapters as you're reading it. He's still doing that in here, but it's totally different because it's all these time shifts. And since he normally, I'm not a fan of that type of stuff. But how dare you say anything bad about Joe Quesada's art? That's the only thing he's always good at. Oh man, I don't care about the non-inking.
These people are a little wrinkly, but.
All right, but I like the wrinkles, man. I like the ribbons. I'm just saying
that's just a nitpick. I like his art, but there are times like, man, they're all pretty wrinkly.
They are.
Are we talking about Quesada, or while I was gone, did you guys switch to Frank White?
Kinda, yeah. I'm just not a fan of it. I like Quesada's art. Don't get me wrong. I love Guardian Devil. Daredevil. That was perfect.
If it wasn't for him, that book, seriously, if it wasn't for him, it would not look good at all.
I mean, but
then you had Daredevil Father.
Yeah, but the non-linear.
All right, he was going. It doesn't matter, man. His eyes are always the best. That's the important thing.
Guardian Devil, Kevin Smith wrote a joke I liked. It was when Daredevil opens the door and he's holding the baby, and Black Widow looks at him and goes, "It's not mine." I was like, that was good.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the whole non-linear narrative, just like I get it. It didn't work for me here.
Yeah,
I can be forgiving if it's better done. I didn't feel that here. I wasn't a fan of the art in this, but once again, Marvel's using the word fascist. So there's something fascist going on in the Marvel universe, and then there was also something called a race war, which is awful because there is RIL stuff going down in Africa. That's terrible that no one's talking about in the mainstream news.
It's been going on for a long time. Okay, there's been many a Nobel Prize writer on it. Okay.
Well, remember that Eddie. We're too busy talking about Russia and Ukraine. Remember the Eddie Izzard rule, Sully. If you kill your own people, we're sort of just generally fine with that. But if you cross, over into your neighbors and start killing them, then we get upset after 6 or 7 years of it. So go watch it. Go watch the Eddie Izzard comedy special, guys. You'll get that. You'll get that reference.
Okay.
Am I the only one who's watched Eddie Izzard's comedy?
I'm not into it.
No.
I watched one about 20 years ago, I think.
Right. Well, that was when he was good. It was like when he was at the height of he was wearing all the makeup and it like vaudeville. It exaggerated his facial expressions.
The best Eddie Izzard I've ever seen was an American. No. I'm sorry, Hannibal. That's
he was great in that.
Hannibal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it was amazing. And then he was eating himself. Holy shit! That program. 2 seasons good, 3rd season bad.
Yeah, 3rd season just dropped off a cliff.
But Eddie Izzard, holy shit, that guy is fucking amazing in that.
Yeah,
really
and
good.
Then and also really good in Mystery Men, where he was the leader of the Disco Boys.
Oh. All right, I didn't realize.
I wish we had high concept gangs like that, like the Warriors and like Mystery Men. It's like, okay, guys, we're gonna be a street gang, but you all need to have 5 years of jazz tap, on your resume.
Yeah.
And we're all gonna be themed.
Do you think like Madman was just like borrowing from Flaming Carrot Brain? Like he had his guys. Mike Allred had guys with like yo-yos that were attacking people, and Madman would fight against them, and that feels very Flaming Carrot style.
Yeah, I never thought of that because I read a lot more Flaming Carrot than Madman. So yeah, Good
Well,
point.
sorry to stall that. I was trying to play off Aaron. Whatever.
Aaron, don't forget Izzard's turn in that superhero movie with Uma Thurman and Anna Faris. What
Oh,
movie was
yeah.
that?
With Super Ex-Girlfriend.
Oh, I never saw that.
It's something.
Wow.
Is it something? Something
It's
good?
it's something.
All right. Fair enough. So is this the part where we fight? Like where we fight over each other's opinions and we go back and we say like, Andrew, what the hell are you thinking? Uncanny X-Men, what the hell?
Oh, man, I know. Seriously.
Didn't you already do that for like 10 minutes?
I mean, you know, but we can it's a callback now when we do it again. All right, let's go around and see what everybody's got to plug. What are you working on right now, Andrew?
Oh gosh, I personally just promoting the work that we've got going on right now at the Rippaverse. Horseman #1, which is the first issue of the ongoing that we greenlit after Welcome to Florist Park being such a massive success, thanks to all the fans. So thank you everybody who supported that. We've got our first anthology doing very well right now. We've got the 4th issue of our magazine that's doing very well, as is the 3rd issue of Yaira. So I just want to give a huge shout out to everybody that came out to Fan Expo Dallas and said hi to us. Those of you who were longtime fans that we've seen you in the chat and we've seen you at other convention appearances for the last couple of years. Thank you so much. It's always fantastic to see you guys. But an even bigger shout out to the people who came up to our booth and had never heard of us at all. And on Sunday, especially, we had so many people who had just never heard of us before that wound up becoming first-time customers, first-time fans, and that was a huge blessing and an honor to be able to make those connections, because that's what the conventions are all about, right? Getting together with people that you know and you enjoy this same cool geek shit and enjoying that together and breaking bread together like you guys got to do with Perch. That's fantastic. I'm kind of jealous. But also getting to make those new connections, those new genuine connections, because that's what comic books are about, right? So huge shout out to everybody that came over to our booth, and shout out to everybody that's supporting all the great indie comics in this space as well. Deal Before Doomface, everything. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, you guys you had a great table and there was a lot of stuff going on, but you just announced that, you know, the anthology that you're doing, you've got stories by Mahler, you've got stories by Critical Drinker, you got stories by Nerdrotic. So you guys are really doing a great job of bringing in people like with these big audiences and letting them flex their creative muscles. You know, it's like they get a lot of criticism. Oh, these guys, these birthday party clowns, they just tear everything down. They don't create anything.
Can you do more than this? Can you
there.
actually be creative on your own as well?
Yeah, but they are actually out there doing
Yeah.
it. So it's a false criticism because, you know, we're all out there in the space doing things and trying to make things better and trying to create new IPs that will excite people. So yeah, it's I think it's good. Drew, why don't you talk a little bit about Unholy Nightmare? I see that we have passed $2,000 on the campaign, which is great.
Yeah, and we're not even close to the 24-hour mark. Yeah, we're 2176. It's great, fantastic. Thanks to everyone who signed up. Yeah, it's not just a horror story. This is superhero action as well. So if you loved, you know, Image Comics, the 1990s, we've got a lot of great, huge action sequences in this book, as well as horror elements in this. So we like to think we have the best of both worlds going on in this book. And we have, like I said, we have some great add-ons for this, which one of which is the Voodoo illustrated 10-pager of the origin of the Golem, which is my little love letter to EC Comics and Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror, Shock Suspense stories. You'll love it. All done in pen and ink by Voodoo. Just crosshatch the hell out of it. If you guys, just so everyone can give a chance to check that out, as well as, you know, Kneel Before Doomface, as well as the other Rippaverse books.
TMF, I want to address this from TMF 979. Says, I know I asked before, but I never got a full answer. Do you recommend Jeff Parker's Negaduck saga on Darkwing, and it was before or after your run? I don't think anything that Dynamite does is connected to my run with James Silvani. I think that it's its own kind of random continuity, and it just depends on, I don't even know if it relates to each other, because every time a new creator comes on, they do something different. I will say I've thumbed through the Negaduck book. I do really like the art. I think the art is fantastic. It's well worth it just for the artist on that book. I found the story that I read fun. I just didn't find the character of Negaduck was present in the book, like as a villain kind of caper, I think it's a solid book, but I think that it needed more of Negaduck's personality in it. And I think that's true from my perspective on all of the stuff that Dynamite's doing. I think it's a very surface level version of Darkwing, where it's like, you could kind of like some of the writers, I think just, and I'm not saying this about Jeff Parker, but I think some of the writers just were not fans and skimmed the Wikipedia page and watched an episode or two and got a general idea of what the character is. And that's kind of what they're putting into the book. So I don't, I haven't read all of it, so I can't give a full like review of it. And it would kind of seem like sour grapes if I did and I wasn't enjoying it. So I kind of tend to avoid it. I just know that like what I've looked at is not to my taste. But it may please, it may please some fans, and that's fine. So I just, your mileage may vary is my answer on that.
Wait, I thought you hated it.
I didn't like that. Well, I hated the first when they launched it. When they launched it, I hated it. I read that, and I absolutely hated it because I felt like it was very much a Wikipedia reading of the character. And then they tried to like they called the first arc the Dark Flight Returns, trying to bite off the Duck Knight Returns, and I was like, that's dumb. And the artist was copying a lot of art from other artists without credit. There was some Silvani in there. There was some Lisette Carrera in there. Just swipes, straight up swipes. And that might have been because, they gave him, you never know, because with the artist, they might have said, oh, here's, no money. He's got to do it fast. Oh, well, at Dynamite, he definitely got no money. Like their page rates are even worse now that they're, since the Diamond collapse.
You'd think they just stick with one Jay Lee cover and then pay the artist that does the inside.
I mean, you would think. And, it's funny because I got some, I went back and I was thumbing through some old photos, and I take screenshots of people that say negative things about me because I think it's funny to revisit once in a while. And I saw somebody like, oh, Sparrow's Darkwing was just like pure Batman wank. I'm glad he's not on the new Dynamite book. And then one of the Dynamite book, every single cover is a Batman homage.
Yes.
I was like, you guys sure scored. And the thing is that there is some Batman wrapped up in Darkwing, whether you like it or not. There's more shadow and more of like the pulp heroes.
Right, exactly.
But there's definitely, plenty of Batman stuff to play with there. So I don't necessarily dislike it. But the problem with their Batman covers was they were just straight up Batman covers. It's like, where's the Batman cover, but with the joke? Like, you have to take that Batman cover and you have to put in a Darkwing style joke with it. So that's my rant on that. But yeah, so lots of good stuff going on in the indie space. Dylan, what do you got going?
I just did a video talking about Star Wars, so check that out because it's an interesting place right now. I'm actually hyped right now, but Disney isn't taking advantage of it because I know myself and a lot of other fans right now are in a space because during May, there's a lot of good Star Wars stuff happening. You had Revenge of the Sith re-release. You had Andor Season 2, which is amazing. There's like a big Fortnite Star Wars event. The Battlefront 2 servers got lit up again. So there's like a whole hype about Star Wars going on right now. We got the Ryan Gosling movie, which who knows, maybe it could be decent. That was announced. So there's hype right now, but then you look at what Disney's doing to capitalize on it, and there's nothing at all. We've got Mandalorian and Grogu. Who cares? There's just not much to look forward to. And also the comics right now are dog shit. So there's not much to really look forward to, but it would be nice if Disney actually took advantage of the hype around Star Wars right now. So I just did a whole video on that.
They sucked the life out of Star Wars, and now it seems like they just don't want to put any money into it. It's just a husk.
It's unfortunate because Andor Season 2 was really good, and Tony Gilroy was the spearhead of all that. And he's just like, yeah, Star Wars took up 6 years of my life. I'm done now. It's like, just let him go do one project and then throw all the money in the world at him to come back.
No, we're gonna replace Kathleen Kennedy with Dave Filoni. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
That'll be really fun. We just get more of Filoni's creations because that's all he does is regurgitate his own stuff. All his characters that he created, he just brings them all back. It's like, don't you guys love these characters I made?
Yeah.
Well, in fairness, he also steals from the expanded universe that they decanonized, and then gives you a much worse version of that thing that you loved.
A much worse version.
Oh man,
Very
Dylan, I mean,
unfortunate.
the next issue of Star Wars, in the new volume, they're bringing back the Nagay, who debuted in issue 91 of the original Marvel Star Wars. So they're still going back and cherry picking the old stuff because they're just creatively bankrupt.
It's
I
really
always read it as
Catholic
the
Kid, he said.
I was read it as the
Catholic Kid.
guy, not the gay.
Nagay,
Catholic Kid, he said,
tomato,
get that
tomato.
off of.
Yeah,
no
they have no
history.
source material.
Yeah,
No,
nothing.
nothing.
I
out
talked
there.
about in that video with Wes when they first did this, they should have done that from the beginning, because I understand not making the entire EU canon because there's so much, but they should have from the very beginning cherry picked some stuff. Be like, all right, this is canon, that's not, because we want to tell a story there, or that doesn't make any sense. Because Lucas would even do that with the EU, like he would just stomp all over stuff. But instead, they're like, no, none of it is, and then now they're going back and be like, actually, we're gonna bring this forward, and it's just. We're
gonna do this.
Also,
We're gonna
without
give you
admitting,
a watered down, like lesser version of this thing that you already had.
and also without admitting that they're straight up stealing it from somebody else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like, hey, did you like that story? Well, wouldn't it be better if Ahsoka was the lead in that story? Wouldn't it be better if Grogu was involved? No, it wouldn't. But that's what we're getting.
Very unfortunate. At least Valance is a part of the current Star Wars book right now, the main title. Because I like Valance a lot, but I wish he'd get his own book again. It was cool in Bounty Hunters.
Yeah,
Sacks.
I always liked that character, even back in the day.
Yeah.
Doc, what do you got going on? You heading off to any cheerleading competitions? What's up?
No, not really doing much. I've basically been working on cars and working on projects around the house. Had to change a bunch of things on my GTI the other day. So I've basically been elbow deep in engines for the last couple of weeks. But I have not gone to a comic shop in like 2 weeks. But I have been reading some old comics recently, and I do want to recommend some.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do comic recommendations.
Right. So, this is for me. We're going to go with, it's the first appearance of Cletus Cassidy. It's also the first appearance of Cardiac, who was supposed to actually be the bigger character, but fucking whatever. ASM, what is this, 344? Yeah. So, first Cletus Cassidy. This is where Eddie Brock's in prison and Cletus Cassidy's his cellmate. Actually pretty good comic.
I like that Cardiac. I heard Christopher Priest was going to make him white.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
By the way, Doc, according to Hasbro leaks, we're getting our first ever Cardiac Marvel Legends figure this year.
Okay, that is cool because I like the character.
I do too.
Cardiac. It's a great design. I mean, check out that design.
He's a doctor that needs to steal life-saving equipment for people.
Exactly.
It's cool.
And he's got like the fucking American Gladiators.
Oh yeah, totally.
Thing that you beat, the giant cotton swab American Gladiators thing that you used to beat each other with while standing on a platform. Come on.
What are those called? Pugil sticks?
Pugil sticks.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the best Larson too, I think.
I think so too. I think
Okay.
his run on ASM was the perfect.
I think it was better than McFarlane, believe it or not. I wasn't a fan of McFarlane's run at all.
I liked McFarlane's run. I just thought that Larson had a slightly more efficient style.
God, it just bounces that cover too.
It really
that looks 3D to me right now. I would love to see that in a 3D.
I know.
That'd be hot. All right, sorry.
And then we will go to X-Men number, what is this, 14?
14.
Yeah.
First appearance of the Sentinels.
Those look hokey.
I know, that's when they were all like, they were short. They were only like, I don't know, maybe 9 or 10 feet tall before they became 40 20-story monsters.
Yeah.
But yeah, so original Sentinels. So there we go. Then
Yes.
some Art Adams X-Men. I saw, the other day I saw somebody post, and they did a comparison of Art Adams Storm from this and Art Adams Storm from like a couple of years ago. I love Art Adams, but he has become completely indistinguishable from Nick Bradshaw.
Nick Bradshaw's a hard bite for sure.
I know. I mean, they're good. It's a great art style, but they are indistinguishable from one another now.
Damn, your camera's good. It's really picking up that cover.
I know, right?
I know, man. You gotta give me your camera number.
No, this is from my MacBook. It's the MacBook's camera.
Yeah. All right.
So
damn, that's a good. Oh god, I love that cover so much.
I wish, like, I think more Art Adams' career should have been doing Storm in Asgard gear annuals or Kid X-Men, just annuals every year. That should have been his entire career.
Yes, they should have paid him.
What a waste.
Like an annual salary just to do the annual.
Yeah.
For Uncanny X-Men every fucking year.
The only other character I want to see him draw is Warlock. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like his. Yeah. I like his Warlock, and you know what? And if he wants to do a one shot periodically with Longshot, be my guest.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But yes,
they got to be on these greats to do annuals. That would be just so cool. I think.
Mm-hmm. But Art Adams, his the Asgardian Wars stuff with this, so fucking good. It's just so good.
Rob Liefeld just told a story how he and Jim tried to get him to do some image stuff early on, and before they could finish asking him, he said $1 million.
Yeah,
and,
that's a good move.
Yeah, he wanted to. I remember he was talking about he wanted to do an Image crossover, and they wanted Art Adams to draw it because, let's be honest, almost all those Image guys were heavily influenced by Art Adams' style. Art Adams or Michael Golden, or both.
Mm-hmm.
And so absolutely 100% having Art Adams do it would have been like having, I don't know, whoever the fuck Da Vinci's fucking mentor was, do the fucking Mona Lisa. Yeah, it would have been perfect.
You should have stuck with Pedro Pascal or something.
But no, the Art Adams, for those of you that weren't old enough to really appreciate, go back and find some of his old stuff. All those X-Men annuals that he did, the 3 issues of the new Fantastic Four saga, and what was it, 347 or 348, 349, and 350 on Fantastic Four. He did those 3 issues in a row. Go find them. It's so fucking fun. Gorgeous. He had such an amazing art style. And then finally, we will go with, since we were talking about it before, Lady Mandarin Wolverine, or Lady Mandarin Psylocke.
I still need that 2-pack.
I have it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so nice. I really, really enjoy that. But even whenever she became a ninja, she was still wearing armor, because even though she was brainwashed and in a completely different body, subconsciously she knew she still needed armor, because Betsy can't fucking fight.
I wish they'd give us a more of a legend of her in the armor from the Australian saga.
Yeah. The more
pink and purple. Yeah, that was great.
Yes, that would be a great figure. I am looking forward to the fact that I can, I don't really care about the Thanos figure that they're packaging with the Psylocke.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't give a shit about Thanos. But that Psylocke figure I fucking want.
Yeah. Yeah, pre-orders sold out on Target like almost immediately, like they always do, because Target's distribution is garbage.
Yeah, and now like the one with the Captain America and Venom, I want that Captain America. But let's be honest, that Venom is just them putting this one back out.
Yeah, I never took that one out of the package though, so I'll be glad to get the Marvel Capcom version.
Yeah, but it's literally just this Venom. It's like they got to recycle. So they went and bought all the Chinese overrun, and now they're just shoving it in the 2-pack instead of letting
run it through a new paint job and put it back out.
Yeah, so Chinese eBay can't keep selling them. But yes, so this Psylocke, yeah, great couple. This is a great arc with Wolverine, in the process of dying, and they up back in Madripoor, getting the shit beat out of him by Betsy, and helping to break her mind control though. So
Cuckoo says Mandarin is rumored to be a Marvel Legends this year. He hopes it's classic with soft goods. You almost never get soft goods from Legends, so I wouldn't hold out hope for that, but I do hope it's a classic Mandarin.
Soft goods? What's that?
Soft goods is when you get cloth, like cloth.
Oh,
capes,
I see what you're saying.
Cloth
Gotcha.
outfits.
I think you got to make me small again.
Yeah, I got to make you. We got to reduce you, Doc. You tubuku.
Ah, yes.
Aaron, I gotta go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Breen,
so
thank you
sorry,
for hanging out. Appreciate you being
Thanks
here.
for having me.
Yeah, anytime, man.
I did as much prep work as I can get from getting a notice at 1:00 this morning. So thank you.
Well, good. I'm glad that you knew you were on the show, but I didn't know that you didn't know what the theme was because Wes has had it up for weeks. So in my head, I was just like, everybody knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, but you said there might be too many people. So when I didn't hear from you, I thought, okay, I dodged that bullet.
No, you're taking that bullet, buddy.
All right, well, you guys have a great rest of the day and
Fire.
talk to you later.
Thank
See
you.
Catch you later, brother.
Bye, Breen.
Take that, Aaron.
General Balsack says Breen on the chicken nugget schedule.
Yep. And yeah, those 3 issues by Art Adams and Walt wrote them.
Oh, look at! I love how you can just name a book and Yule has it within arm's length.
Yeah,
I
right
typically
there.
do too, but
I could be like
That's
Femforce 57, and Yule is immediately like,
No, no, there will be no Femforce for me.
what?
That's like Joe Corallo with Omnibus. You mentioned this super obscure collection or omnibus, and Joe's like, I've got that right here. As a matter of fact,
I think he plans that.
Joe.
He leads conversations, so he'll have it at his fingertips.
Possibly.
He's a sneaky fuck, that guy. You gotta watch him.
We love you, Joe.
Drew, what do you got for us this week? What are your recommendations?
This week, I think everyone check out that Black Panther. That issue. I enjoyed it. For the most part, it's that there are a lot of time jumps, which really it makes it jarring at points. But overall, I got a kick out of it. It was fun. Besides that, check out Unholy Nightmare 2, guys.
Nice. Bringing it back. Link is in the description, and I'm going to put it there again right now. So tell us, Sully, I know you went and you picked up your funny books this week. What do you got?
I have a very small stack of funny books this week, but I go to my local comic book shop every Wednesday on New Comic Book Day and get my new releases because they are independent bookstores. They are small businesses. Screw James Gunn if he's not including the American way. We can. It's the American way to go out and support small businesses. So go and spend your money at your local comic book shop. Chances are you need bags, you need boards, you need boxes. Get your supplies at your LCS. What did I get this week?
It's going to be more expensive for those bags and boards these days.
No, but geez.
That's where it's going to hurt the comic store. Just start thinking about Mylar.
Yeah. I got Absolute Superman number 8. This is where I think I'm getting off the bus because I've given it 8 months. I've given it 8 issues. I'm not quite happy with it. It's okay. It's not good enough for me to be spending $4.99 in issue 1. So I've already spent $40 on this, 35 rather, and I think I'm done. So it's been on my pull list. I'm taking it off my pull list. On the other side of the spectrum, though, we've got G.I. Joe 317, A Real American Hero. Happy birthday to you, Larry Hama. This is a great book if you are into G.I. Joe and the continuation of A Real American Hero. For all the cartooniness that we get over on Energon Universe, you get the seriousness over here. And it's classic G.I. Joe. I'm a Generation 1 Joe fan. So this is made just for me. And I really appreciate Skybound, Robert Kirkman for doing that, and for hiring Larry Hama with his old job. He's written, what do you think, Aaron? Like 95% of every issue of A Real American Hero, something like that?
I think it's more than that, because I think it's only in the very beginning that there was an issue or two that he didn't write.
Yeah.
So I think that like maybe there's 2-3 issues in the run that he didn't write.
And that's like 43, 44 years of author, of stewardship and of being an author. So that's great. And then it's a wonderful comic book love story. And what else I got? I picked up the facsimile for one of the best standalone Superman stories ever. Action Comics 775, written by Joe Kelly. Great art by Doug Mankey. I remember when this came out. I had just got back into comic books after one of my big hiatuses. I ditched the whole thing after Onslaught. I had enough. I hit the wall. So in '96, heck, I was a young man in my early 20s. I had a life to live. I had a girlfriend, to maintain. So I came back in 2001, getting New X-Men by Grant Morrison and Judd Winnick's Green Lantern, which I think is really good still. And this was one of the books I got back then. And this is an amazing Superman story. And the best thing about this, the facsimile, are the advertisements. It's proof positive that comic books are, the big two publishers are self-deluded. They don't know who they're marketing to. This is all about snack foods, video games, and movies. And they know exactly who to market to. It's foolishness to think that they don't. It's a conscious choice of theirs to not, video game ads. This is just, they're every Skittles. You know what I mean? That's great. Snack foods. That's what comic book readers really want. And,
speaking of snack foods, Sully, before you go on, Doc has got to dip out. He's got to go get some snack foods. So, Doc, thank you for joining us.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Doc.
you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I will see you all next week.
All right.
Right on, man.
Later, Doc.
See you, man.
Yeah.
And also, Andrew, thank you so much for coming on the show with us this morning. And we love other points of view here. We really do, especially your picks of the year so far. It was enlightening and robust to hear that and adding to the conversation, because these comic books, they're made to be liked. They're not made to fail. I don't think that the big two are hoping that, oh, geez, I really want to piss off the YouTubers today.
You don't?
No,
I definitely have plenty of creators that want to do that.
Yep.
Like,
Plenty.
this will really own the chuds.
I'm just being positive. I'm sorry, but thanks for coming aboard today. It's been, and it was nice to last weekend to go by your booth. I really thought you had your shit together. Everything looked great. I mean, your display of all the books on the table. It was like, it really hit me then. Like, wow, you guys have really, in the short amount of time, like, you put out a lot. And it was nice to meet Gary and shake his hand and be like, hey, I'm Eric O'Sullivan. And he's like, I know. I watch you guys. And that blew my mind. He gave me the idea for the gratitude list. It was good to see Jay Drunk 3PO again. I hadn't seen him since 2022 at another Fan Expo. And I met the Soska sisters, and they were like bubbly and effervescent and flirty.
Any seances or anything like that?
Nothing satanic. No, nothing. I was like, and then I met Eric too, and I was like, "Hey, I'm Sully from Message Show," and it was like I talked to Eric for a few minutes, and I thought he had some really good energy. So it was good to get some perspective, and to meet people in real life. And one thing I love about the con, it's like the 1986 movie Highlander. When the Kruger says to Connor McLeod, "Holy ground, Highlander." You know what I mean? This is respect the holy ground, and I just. I had such a great time. I really did. And also meeting my friends too.
Well, the nice thing about getting out to a con and actually talking to people face to face is it reminds you, and we all know this, but it really reminds you that the internet, social media is not real life. It's you get out there and you talk to people, and it's like, I will say that every conversation I've ever had with Eric, I have enjoyed. He has always been just super down to earth, super chill, super real. I don't pick up any guile. I don't pick up any facade like this. When he talks to you, you are talking to the man. You're not talking to a persona. You're not talking to, and I think too many people are wrapped up in their persona in like, oh, I'm going to be this personality. And I don't get that from him at all. I've never gotten it from Gary. These guys have always been genuine with us. And, I'm excited to see what they put out into the Rippaverse. So speaking of which, Andrew, what are your recommendations for this week? And we're going to laugh if one of them's Uncanny X-Men.
What do I got here? I actually have not finished reading like the majority of my stack this week. So I can't give a genuine thing. I'm sure the Ultimate Wolverine's going to be solid because it has been basically from issue 1. So I don't have any reason to believe that this week's issue isn't good. Gosh, so here's where that difference in opinion comes. I actually have been really enjoying Absolute Superman for what it is. Rafa Sandoval's art is beautiful. I'm not a Jason Aaron guy, but I've been enjoying the story. I do think that he's gone off on rabbit trails a little too many times where it's like, okay, I get you're trying to do some world building, but can we like go back to Cal? Can we go back to Superman and learn more about this universe's Superman instead of all these other side characters right now? Like, I think that it's doing, of the Absolute Trinity, it's doing the least good job about actually building up the title character. But Rafa Sandoval's art is just so gorgeous, and so I am still enjoying it. Yeah, I don't have any major recommendations beyond that. I'm waiting for my next issue of Witchblade and my next issue of Ultimate Spider-Man to be super, super jazzed.
Right on. Yul, what do you
and
got
my next
this
issue of Uncanny X-Men.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Yul, what do you got for us? Oh, Yul, you're muted. Yul and pantomime.
Whoops. I was trying to be so courteous and not talk over people. Follow me at Fantastic Comics on YouTube, or follow us on Substack. It's free and funny, and sometimes comes out, and it's free. But I disagree. I'm loving Spider-Man right now, and I didn't hate 8 Deaths as much as other people. I felt like it was a refresher for people that maybe stepped out for a while or just really thought he kind of lost his way. It set up the One World Under Doom bit that's going on, and it was all right. It wasn't my favorite thing, but eventually I read it all, and it just kind of started clicking for me. But this one, I like this story a lot. It's got fantastic art. That alone is a recommendation for me. Imperial, of course, I already talked about that. And then Sully Stole My Thunder. We're talking about the greatest single issue of Superman ever. I don't want to hear shit about a Superman adventure story that Miller wrote. I don't want to hear shit about Kurt Swan or anything like that. If you like Superman at all, or just aren't really sure if you do, you got to read this. Even the title itself answers itself to you. What's so funny about truth, justice, and the American way? And I got the foil cover because if I was a goldfish, I'd be hooked by a shiny lure. No worm at all. No worm at all. It's got Lee Bermejo before people knew who he was. It's got Doug Mahnke. Doug Mahnke, he did Batman Off-World with Jason Aaron last year.
Yeah.
Damn, that was good.
I love the interiors and that. His Superman, when you see him all battle damage, it's like, dude, I am not effing with this guy ever. Never want to F with this guy.
Don't see that Elite movie, okay?
That's what I hated. The art style butchered Doug Mahnke's style. It's so bad. It looks terrible.
Cartoon, not really. It's just you're better off rotoscoping something, I would think. But Joe Kelly, so Joe Casey, a man of action, did not write this issue of Action, but a man of action, Joe Kelly, did. Joe Casey's going to be at my store on the 25th, and it was always a battle between him, Kelly, or Busick on and Morrison about who were doing the best comics at the time. Nub, is that Conan the Barbarian? As much as you like the Zub stuff, nothing better than that from Dark Horse at the time, especially. Done.
Right on. That's fantastic
All right.
recommendations. So Dylan, what do you got for us?
For recommendations, I'd say Ultimate Wolverine. It's got the fill-in artist, which is a bit disappointing because the main artist on that book is amazing, but it's still a good issue. And then I'd say JSA. Those are the only 2 comics, because I just ordered the first volume of Larry Hama's Skybound G.I. Joe, because the back end of his IDW run was so god awful that I did not check out Skybound when it first happened. But you guys have been saying it's amazing, and it was like $9 on Amazon, so I literally just ordered it the other day. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, the end of his IDW run was so terrible.
Yeah, it felt like he was just a broken man and was just kind of going through the motions. And plus, they had like, I think it was SL Gallant on art. Yes. And it was never interesting. Like, there was a point where Gallant was drawing it, and then David Hedgecock came into IDW and was like, we need to revitalize G.I. Joe and put Netho Diaz on it. And then it was like really good because the art was really good. And then they put Gallant back on it, and it just seemed like Larry was deflated. But it seems like Skybound is reaching.
Mooneyham, dude, this is some of the best work of his career. Lights out. It's amazing.
What did he do prior?
I don't know.
He was so good.
I hated him on Nightwing. I'm going to be honest. He was for G.I. Joe, but he was on Nightwing for a bit, and it was awful.
The brilliance
G.I. Joe is perfect.
No,
the brilliance is how they do the panel page layout. You know, it just looks the same, even when Pelletier goes over. Mm-hmm. And that's his best work, I think. Pelletier. I mean, he's kind of like in that Bagley round for me. You know, the Kitson and whoever we were talking about earlier. But boy, Pelletier on G.I. Joe, that was good stuff. But
yeah, I liked. Mooneyham, yeah, they're both like, even when Pelletier comes in and fills in, I don't mind it because he's so good.
Yeah,
and usually I hate fill in, you know, like because I like continuity of artwork. But both good. I would like to say I could recommend G.I. Joe: Real American Hero this week, but I think it fell off the top of my car, so I haven't had a chance to read it.
Maybe someone got a nice free issue of Real American Hero because
Thankfully, the bag only had 2 books in it: Green Lantern and G.I. Joe. So I'm not out too much, but I'm what a doofus. Drew, what are you recommending this week?
You already got me.
Oh, that's right, I did. Josh, what are you recommending?
I will second Ultimate Wolverine, but for the love of God, please stop putting Alex Lens on that book. I do not like his art. I don't like his art.
Don't agree at all.
Don't agree at all.
That is a future superstar in superhero comics. That guy.
I loved it.
I don't know.
Down from the main artist.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, yeah,
from Alessandro
guy, whatever his name is.
Other than that, Space Ghost Annual, go pick it up. And guys, it's June. Go get DC Pride, okay?
Yeah, it's $10. I need to sell it.
Yeah, no, it's awful. It is dog shit.
Well, Josh, what I was thinking of doing was just going to the comic book store and holding it up and taking a selfie with it and then putting it back on the shelf.
Of course. I mean,
I think that's what you do, right?
Just make sure you tweet that out with the hashtag and you're doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, that's right. Don't just pay lip service to the things that you say you want. Don't actually support them with your dollars.
Hashtag yay gay.
Alua Femi says I want to say thanks to Aaron and Andrew for checking out my sample pages at Dallas Fan Expo. You guys are awesome. I remember you. I actually talked about I talked to Drew when he came back to the table, and I was like, oh man, I hope this guy comes back so you can see his art. But I didn't see you again after that, so I don't know if you made it back. But thank you for coming out. It was a pleasure to talk to you,
dude. I thought his name was Obafemi.
I totally thought you said Obafemi.
I hope I didn't butcher it.
I think you said Obafemi.
Did I really? I might have said Obafemi.
That guy's pretty awesome. Last time I saw him.
See, Phil Marks is so sorry he didn't make it here today. We got Obafemi in the chat.
Yeah, dude.
By the way, go Stephanie Vekor. Yeah.
Okay. No, that's it. So we want to just talk about wrestling from here on, like.
I mean, look, the entire time we were talking about Psylocke, I just kept thinking about Stephanie Vekor because every time I look at her legs, that's all. And I'm a gay man, and I'm saying that, okay? So,
well, if Stephanie can turn.
There you go,
Josh,
guys.
The power of the
like some flanks.
No, I mean,
I'm talking Josh.
Yeah.
No, her legs are fantastic. It's the same reason I used to be mystified by Stacy Keibler.
She's got the Psylocke bands. So, anyways,
She does. Yeah, no, she's super cool. Like,
She got robbed on Dancing with the Stars, by the way. I just want everybody to know that.
Yeah.
Stacy Keeler, she got robbed. It was bullshit. So
Yeah, I mean,
now
just her
we've
legs
ended the
alone, like, you know, she definitely had 2 legs up in that competition. She
Damn
should have
straight.
won.
I do want to say, come check. Drew and I are always together Tuesdays and Thursdays, so come check us out on Pop by Culture as well, because we're constantly talking. Mostly
Are we
comics.
doing? Are we doing Pop by Culture this week? Because I kind of
We are
bounce
doing-
back when you do Popped, I'm with you, and then when you're not doing Popped, I bounce over to World Class Bullshit.
We're not doing Culture Popped because we didn't do top 5 comics this past Tuesday, because I was trying to get settled from Dallas, but and deal with day job bullshit. But yeah.
All right, so I guess see you Tuesday, Andrew, on World Class Bullshitters. Sully, what do you got going on? What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about wrestling? Because I can keep going. Like, if you guys got to bounce, I totally understand.
No, I got to
I gotta head out.
Dylan's got to head out. All right.
What,
I
you
got
want to wrap?
Florida open at 12. Best Coast,
West Coast.
12.
Yeah, and guys, go check out Yule's YouTube channel. I've been on there once. It was an absolute blast. I would love to go back. Drew, you should
Well,
consider
we
going
can
on.
talk.
Everybody.
I'm always happy. We can, if you, I mean, I'm way too small, but I mean, you can bring Phil on also, and we can really jerk around.
Yeah, I'll see if we can get Phil.
I mean, I'll be happy to follow over there instead. But
he was totally booked for today, and I thought it'd be fun to just have like a surprise guest that does something else. But then he hit me up this morning, and he was like, "Dude, I forgot that it's like the AAA pay-per-view is on it. Like, I forgot that it's Money in the Bank. Like, he goes, I got so much stuff I got to cover." And I was like, "No worries, man."
That's the problem when you have to cover all that shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he forgot that it was all on the same day. That he agreed.
They need to stop doubling up these premium live events on the same day. Like, come on now.
I know. I have so much Doomface stuff. I have so much Doomface stuff to do, post-production stuff to do today, and I'm like, oh, but I want to watch wrestling too.
Or if you're going to do it on the same weekend, do a Saturday and a Sunday. Like, come on, throw us a bone.
Or do it against whatever AEW is doing, so that Tony Khan can cry. All right, guys. I guess we will wrap it up. Thank you to my amazing panel of guests for being here. Wes will be back next week. I hope it wasn't too jarring having me as host. But you'll have the good stuff back next week.
Best episode ever. Leave it in the comments.
That's right. Like, subscribe.
Best episode ever.
Hit the notification bell. Hit the button, whatever it is that YouTubers say, and let us know. But thank you, everybody. Let me just make sure we didn't miss any super chats. And it looks like we got them all. So we will call it a day. Go back to Unholy Nightmare number 2. Go back to Kneel Before Doomface so that we can give Renzo a fat bonus. Love you guys. And this is the point where Doc would usually